You're listening to WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key in Noonan, Georgia, home of Braves Country with Mac Magee and the Armchair Quarterbacks, weekdays, 3 p.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern, right here on The Key and YouTube.com at Braves Country. Braves Country today. We're talking Southern sports. We go live 3 to 5 weekdays right here on WQEE. Braves Country today. Southern sports talk with the voice of Braves Country baseball, Mac Magee. Joined every day from sports analysts from all over Braves Country, talking college football, the NFL, Major League Baseball, and what's trending in the world of sports. Braves Country today. We go live 3 to 5 weekdays right here on WQEE. Hey Braves fans, I'm Mac Magee with Braves Country. We'll be right here on The Key all year long, giving you Braves Country baseball, pitch by pitch, inning by inning of your Atlanta Braves. Make sure to catch Braves Country right here on The Key. We go live 3 to 5, and we'll keep you up to date on the upcoming schedule for Braves Country. That's Braves Country HD and Braves Country baseball right here on The Key. Lineup for yesterday by Ogden Ash. A is for Alex, the great Alexander. More goose eggs he pitched than a popular gander. B is for Bresnahan, back of the plate. The Cubs were his love and McGraw his hate. C is for Cobb, who grew spikes not corn and made all the basemen wish they weren't born. D is for Dean, the grammatical diz. When they asked who's the tops, said correctly I is. E is for Evers, his jaw in advance, never afraid to tinker with chance. F is for Fordham, and Frankie and Fish. I wish he were back with the Giants, I wish. G is for Gehrig, the pride of the stadium, his record pure gold, his courage pure radium. H is for Hornsby. When pitching to Raj, the pitcher would pitch, then the pitcher would dodge. I is for me, not a hard-hitting man, but an outstanding all-time, incurable fan. J is for Johnson, the big train in his prime, was so fast he could throw 3 strikes at a time. K is for Keeler, as fresh as green paint, the fastest and mostest to hit where they ain't. L is for LaHoy, whom Clevelanders love, Napoleon himself with glue in his glove. M is for Matty, who carried a charm in the form of an extra brain in his arm. N is for Newsom, Bobo's favorite Ken. You ask how he's here, he talked himself in. O is for Ott, of the restless right foot. When he leaned on the pellet stay put. P is for Plank, the arm of the A's. When he tangled with Matty, games lasted for days. Q is for Don Quixote, Cornelius Mack. Neither Yankees nor years can halt his attack. R is for Ruth, to tell you the truth. There's no more to be said, just R is for Ruth. S is for Speaker, swift center field tender. When the ball saw him coming, it yelled, I surrender. T is for Terry, the giant from Memphis, whose 400 average you can't overemphasize. U would be Ubel if Carl wore a Cockney, but we say Hubble in baseball like football in Rockney. V is for Vance, the Dodgers' very own Dazzy. None of his rivals could throw as fast as he. W, Wagner, the bow-legged beauty, short, closed to all traffic with Honus on duty. X is the first of 2 X's in Fox, who was right behind Ruth with his powerful socks. Y is for Young, the magnificent sigh. People battled against him, but I never knew why. Z is for Zenith, the summit of fame. These men are up there, These men are the game. Lineup for yesterday, Ogden Ash, January 1949, Sport Magazine. Hey, Braves Country! Braves Country HD is bringing you Braves Country Baseball all year long. Hi, I'm Mac Magee. We'll be bringing you play-by-play, pitch-by-pitch, inning-by-inning of your Atlanta Braves. Braves Country comes to you every Tuesday night and Friday night, and 2 bonus games every week. Please like and subscribe to youtube.com/@BravesCountry. Casey at the Bat by Ernest Lawrence Thayer. The outlook wasn't brilliant for the Mudville Nine that day. The score stood 4-2, but with 1 inning more to play. And when Cooney died at first and Barrows did the same, a pall-like silence fell upon the patrons of the game. A straggling few got up to go in deep despair. The rest clung to the hope which springs eternal in the human breast. They thought If only Casey could but get a whack at that, we'd put up even money now with Casey at the bat. But Flynn preceded Casey, as did Jimmy Blake, and the former was a hoodoo while the latter was a cake. So upon that stricken multitude, grim, melancholy sat, for there seemed but little chance of Casey getting to the bat. But Flynn let drive a single, to the wonderment of all, and Blake, the much despised, tore the cover off the ball. And when the dust had lifted and men saw what had occurred, there was Jimmy safe at second and Flynn a hugging third. Then from 5,000 throats and more rose a lusty yell. It rumbled through the valley, it rattled in the dell. It pounded on the mountain and recoiled upon the flat, for Casey, mighty Casey, was advancing to the bat. There was ease in Casey's manner as he stepped into his place. There was pride in Casey's bearing, and a smile lit Casey's face. And when responding to the cheers, he lightly doffed his hat. No stranger in the crowd could doubt 'twas Casey at the bat. 10,000 eyes were on him as he rubbed his hands with dirt. 5,000 tongues applauded when he wiped them on his shirt. Then while the writhing pitcher ground the ball into his hip, defiance flashed in Casey's eye, a sneer curled Casey's lip. And now the leather-covered sphere came hurtling through the air, and Casey stood a-watching it in a haughty grandeur there. Closed by the sturdy batsman, the ball unheeded sped. That ain't my style, said Casey. Strike one, the umpire said. From the benches black with people, there went up a muffled roar, like the beating of a storm waves on a stern and distant shore. Kill him! Kill the umpire! Shouted someone on the stand, and it's likely they'd have killed him had not Casey raised his hand. With a smile of Christian charity, great Casey's visage shone. He stilled the rising tumult. He bade the game go on. He signaled to the pitcher, and once more the dun sphere flew. But Casey ignored it, and the umpire said, "Strike two!" "Fraud!" cried the maddened thousands, and echoed answered, "Fraud!" But one scornful look from Casey, and the audience was awed. They saw his face grow stern and cold. They saw his muscles strain. And they knew that Casey wouldn't let that ball go by again. The sneer is from Casey's lip. His teeth are clenched in hate. He pounds with cruel violence his bat upon the plate. And now the pitcher holds the ball. And now he lets it go. And now the air is shattered by the force of Casey's blow. And somewhere in the favored land, the sun is shining bright. The band is playing somewhere, and somewhere hearts are light. And somewhere men are laughing, and somewhere children shout. But there is no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey has struck out. Casey at the Bat, Ernest Lawrence Thayer, published June 3rd, 1888. San Francisco Examiner. Braves Country today. We're talking Southern sports. We go live 3 to 5 weekdays right here on WQEE. Braves Country today, Southern sports talk with the voice of Braves Country baseball, Mac Magee. Joined every day from sports analysts from all over Braves Country, talking college football, the NFL, Major League Baseball, and what's trending in the world of sports. Braves Country today. We go live 3 to 5 weekdays right here on WQEE. Hey, Braves Country. Braves Country HD is bringing you Braves Country Baseball. Braves Country comes to you every Tuesday night and Friday night, and 2 bonus games every week. Hi, I'm Mac Magee. Magee, and we'll be bringing you play-by-play, pitch-by-pitch of your Atlanta Braves. It's free to listen. Please like and subscribe. YouTube.com/@BravesCountry. Braves Country Baseball for the fans, by the fans.
You're in Braves Country.
Good evening, Braves Country. I hope you're ready for a sweep, because I am. We got Strider on the mound. We got the momentum. I am ready for an absolute shutdown performance from Spencer Strider tonight. Really looking forward to tonight's game, because you got two really good young arms. You've got Spencer Strider. We're all familiar with him. Flamethrower, throws the strikes, stays around the plate. Yeah, he'll walk a guy here and there, but all in all, you're looking at the strikeouts, you're looking at the velocity. I know they always say chicks dig the long ball, but I think they're also into that strikeout too. Any guy that can throw that flamethrower like that, I think grabs people's attention. And Hunter Green, born the same ilk. Now, I don't know if he'll ever have the same kind of stuff that Strider has, but remember when Hunter Green first came up, he was a top prospect in all of Major League Baseball. And he hasn't matured as quickly as they would like him to. Right now, sitting with a 5.63 ERA. But all in all, Hunter Green has been a solid young pitcher. And remember something, too. He pitches in probably the most difficult ballpark in all of Major League Baseball. That is nothing but a bandbox. There is nothing about that Great American Small Park, as we like to call it, that is conducive to great pitching. And the numbers show on the road his splits are much better. So I think he's going to do his time there in Cincinnati, and when he becomes a free agent, he's going to book on somewhere else. But that's your big matchup tonight, obviously. You've got Green versus Strider. I do want to touch on last night's game for a second. Great win for the Braves. We know that they gave up the lead late and had to hold on. But I love the fact that, okay, first of all, that home run by Matt Olson was just unbelievable. An absolute bomb. I want to say they said that thing went 448 feet. 448 feet. That is absolutely absurd. And Kyle Wright just didn't have it last night. He's working his way back. We get that, or at least we should get that. We should understand that it's going to be a work in progress. Anytime that you have a guy coming back from the IL and he had an interrupted spring, et cetera, you're just not going to have a smooth transition. And you can't expect him to go out there and throw 7, 8, scoreless innings. And I thought he battled through it. I will say something else too. And this isn't an excuse, but this goes for both pitchers. The home plate umpire last night, Ryan Blackney, I've seen some bad ones, and I'll tend to complain about him during the broadcast, and I kind of let it go. His strike zone was so poor last night, you just can't let it go. You absolutely cannot let that go. He was extremely inconsistent. There were times where you felt like he was calling low strikes and not high ones, and then he would flip-flop. And all in all, it's one of the more memorable poor performances behind the... And look, he is the reason. Performances like that. And I'm not slamming him as an umpire in general, but behind the plate. That is the reason why people are in favor of robo-umps. That is the number one reason. And anytime you bring it up, run an umpire, they get defensive. And I know where they're coming from, because what they're looking at, and obviously what they would be looking for more than anything else, is worrying about their livelihood. And I understand that. But I'm looking at the scorecard from last night, and it's showing 6 pitches. 6 pitches that were definitely in the zone that he called balls. And another 5 pitches that were absolutely off the plate that were called strikes. And what they'll do is they will sit up there and they will tell you, well, which ones were impactful and which ones weren't. I'm sorry, but they're all impactful. And it really felt like that it was more than that. And I do know from time to time these scorecards are not 100%. But let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he blew a dozen behind the plate. The ones that they have underlined and circled, 2 of them were against right. And I mean, 3 of them were so far inside the zone, they're not even touching the outer edge. There's no part of the dot that goes inside the strike zone. No part of it is even touching the outer edge. They were called balls, and they were inside the strike zone. Not on the fringe. They were dead inside. 5 of those pitches that were called strikes were not in the strike zone, period, and they were missing, for the ones that I'm showing right here, by at least 2 inches off the plate. And what's most dumbfounding about the entire thing is, and I know for a fact that this scorecard is missing a couple, because there were several strikes that were called at the bottom of the zone, and this isn't showing any of them. They were being called at the very bottom of the zone that were below the knees and being called strikes. And look, it was for both pitchers. But when you get that, it's going to lead to high-scoring game, wearing out the bullpen for both teams, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll move on from that, but I'm telling you right now, Ryan Blackney, that is one of the worst performances I've seen in a long time. And I do these games very regularly. And when I saw his name come up last night, I kind of cringed because all I could think of was there was a couple that he did in postseason over the last couple of years that were just devastatingly terrible. And everyone always wants to point to Angel Hernandez, but they don't keep the Ryan Blackneys in their mind, because Hernandez has always been the one that gets in there and argues with people. So he gets on the camera, and that's why people focus on him. But Blackney, I'm telling you right now, he is down there near the bottom. As far as, it's one thing to be inconsistent, it's another thing to be so inconsistent that the ball is either nowhere near the zone and being called a strike, or down the heart of the plate being called a ball. And those, a pitcher's like, well, what in the hell can I do? What are you doing to me? So anyways, we'll move on from that and get into tonight's game. Just wanted to address that because it really bothered me last night. Even though we got the W, really bothered me. Looking at the lineups for tonight, Reds, a pretty similar lineup with the India, Friedel, and Fraley, and Stevenson at the top. Myers sitting there at the number 5 spot. We'll go through the entire lineup right before first pitch, but I found it interesting that Vossler got moved off of first base, is going over to third. They're benching Steer. Steer had a double last night, so that to me is a little interesting. Now, look, I don't follow the Reds, so it could be something as simple as they just want him to get a day off. You got a new man behind the plate in Mail, and then Benson's going to be out and left because Myers is moving from the outfield to the infield to play first because of Vossler going to third base. So pretty much the same at the top of the order. There's a couple of, basically it's the 7 of the 9 guys are back in the lineup again, and they're swinging good bats. You look at India, Friedel, Fraley All of them hitting over 300. I mean, Fraley's hitting 370. And then Stevenson batting 289. He was getting a little perturbed last night, wasn't he? He got hit twice, and neither one of them were intentional, but it's human nature to get tired of getting hit. Now, the second one, I thought he was very fortunate. The ball hit him on the belt buckle, so I seriously doubt that left a mark. But you can understand why someone gets fired up like that, takes it personal. The Braves tonight looking very similar, and I've just got one question for the Atlanta Braves because they change their lineup all the time. So it's not like this is an organization that keeps the same lineup day in and day out, no matter what. This is what we're going to do. We're going to stick with it. You see the Braves move their lineup around a lot. What is it going to take Marcell Ozuna out of the starting lineup on the regular? He's 3 for 32. And I do not care what any of their analytics say about his exit velo and all that kind of stuff. Simple fact of the matter is he's 3 for 32. And you don't have him in there for defense. He's your designated hitter. And the way he plays, he's a designated out. And sometimes a guy like Ozuna may just need to sit. But look, I'm hoping this has the same effect of when I complained about Murphy the other night and he got 3 hits and away we go. But he's a designated hitter. I thought to myself, well, maybe he's really successful against Hunter Green. No, he's 0 for 1. On that note, by the way, not a whole lot of experience against Hunter Green in this Braves lineup. Matt Olson is 2 for 3 for a home run. So that's going to be my pick to click. I think Matt Olson goes deep again. Riley's 1 for 3. Other than that, Rosario is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Ozuna's 0 for 1 with the sac fly RBI. And Ozzie Albies has a logged plate appearance, but he doesn't have an at bat, so I don't know what happened. I don't see it in front of me. He either walked or it was some version of sacrifice that did not end up in an RBI. But that's it as far as career versus Hunter Green. Once again, young kid. Other side, if you're looking at it, well, what about the Reds? How many of these guys have faced him? Total of 4 at bats. Jonathan India is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Tyler Stevenson is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. That's it. No one else has faced him. So I think you're going to get a pretty fairly low-scoring game in the first 5 if you're looking for something to hit there. You got to figure it's going to take at least one time through the order for these two teams to get used to, some couple of really powerful arms on the hill today. And if the Braves can get a sweep, obviously it's always big, but it's really big right before you leave to go on a road trip. After this, we've got the immediate future. We're at Kansas City and then we're at San Diego. We're going to bring you tonight's game at 7:20 on Braves Country HD. And then Friday night, that's an 8:10 start because it's in Kansas City, a little different start. 4:10 Saturday right here on WQEE, first pitch. Hopefully it works out like it did last time we did a Saturday afternoon tilt. The game ended just in time for us to get out of the way and give you the River Dragons hockey. But nonetheless, if the game ends up going long and you want to continue to listen to the baseball game, just flip over to Braves Country HD on YouTube. So in a perfect world, we'll get another quick game. I think that was the first Saturday of the season against Washington, and it was just bang, 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 bang. On that note, there has been some news about the Braves rotation And I mentioned it last night on the broadcast, and I didn't realize that it was already unfolding. The Braves have optioned Dylan Dodd down, so he's not going to start on Friday, as he would be in line next. Instead, they have announced that it will be, in all likelihood, Charlie Morton. So Charlie Morton is going to get the ball Friday against Brady Singer. If you haven't seen Brady Singer pitch, really good starting pitcher. That should be a very good matchup, a tough matchup, and the game that I'm most concerned about going into the series. The 4:10 game on Saturday, they haven't announced it yet. The Royals are going with Chris Bubik. There is an opportunity, a chance, because he's eligible to come off the IL that day. Max Fried could be taking the hill, but we don't know what the game plan is as far as making sure that he's ready to roll. But I would tend to think, because they optioned Dodd down, unless they're planning on just skipping and going straight back to Elder on Saturday, which was an option as well because he would be on normal rest. You could go Elder on Saturday, Wright on Sunday. But if not, Max Fried could step in either Saturday or Sunday. So we're going to bring the first two games of that series to you. The Sunday afternoon game, that's at 2:10. And right now it's being projected as Bryce Elder versus Greinke. If that is actually the case, then Max Fried would be your starter on Saturday. But Elder could be asked to go to the hill on Saturday, and they could wait until the middle of next week. But if you do get Fried in on Saturday's game, first of all, you give everybody else an extra day of rest. That's a huge plus. But then the other thing would be, he would be in line, if you do the math there, if he pitches Saturday and if he's off Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, he would be in line then to pitch possibly Thursday. I think they're off Thursday. So he could pitch Saturday and then turn around. The next time he would be asked to come out would be Friday night against the Astros in Atlanta. And I think if you want him to come out off the IL the first time, kind of get the rust off, it's much better to start off with the Kansas City Royals offense than the Houston Astros offense. So there you have that. A quick road trip for the Braves after tonight's game, going to Kansas City, going to Houston. The Phillies are in Cincinnati all weekend at the Reds, a 4-game series. That begins tomorrow night. The Mets, the bad news is they're going to go play 3 games in Oakland. We know how bad Oakland is and has been. The good news is it's the beginning of a 10 game home 10 game road trip out west, which are always difficult, time zone, you name it. They're going to Oakland, then they go to LA and San Francisco for 7. 3 in Los Angeles, 4 in San Fran. That's a tough road. So if they don't go out and sweep the A's, there's a very good chance that that's going to be a losing record on that 10-game road trip. So hopefully that comes to fruition. All right, time to get you set for Braves Reds Game 3. Get your brooms out. Let's get a sweep tonight. Tones Ariola's on the way. He's going to help me with the broadcast tonight. Here on Braves Country Baseball. Welcome him in, y'all. It's about that time. You're listening to WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key in Noonan, Georgia.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
If baseball is about caring, about loyalty and rivalry.
Baerga is 0 for 3. Left center field. Grissom on the run. The team of the 90s has its world championship.
There's a very peaceful thing. It was created and played in pastures and meadows. There's grass, there's outdoors, there's everything that people thought was American and feel about America. You get in a ballpark, and it's the wonder of walking through that dark tunnel and seeing a huge open space where men play the little boy's game.
I believe in the Church of Baseball. I've tried all the major religions and most of the minor ones. I know things. For instance, there are 108 beads in a Catholic rosary, and there are 108 stitches in a baseball. I prefer metaphysics to theology. You see, there's no guilt in baseball, and it's never boring. It's a long season, and you gotta trust it. I've tried them all, I really have, and the only church that truly feeds the soul day in, day out is the Church of Baseball.
Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
A room in right center. If he hits one there, we can dance in the streets. The 2-1. Swung line drive left field. One run is in. Here comes Braves. Here's the throw to the plate. He is safe. Braves win. Braves win. Braves win. Braves win.
You're in Braves country.
We're down to one strike here. Gurriel, the last hope for the Houston Astros. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, bounced over to Dansby. Dansby fires it over to first. And here comes the dog pile. Fire the cannons in the battery. Do the chop all throughout Braves country. Pop that top. Your Atlanta Braves have won it all.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose what stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we once were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Play ball. Hey, howdy, hi, and how the hell are you? Pull up an armchair, girls and boys, and join us for Braves Country Baseball. We are live, and the scene is Truist Park in Atlanta, Georgia, where we're set to bring you pitch-by-pitch, play-by-play of your Atlanta Braves. Hi, I'm Mac Magee. Here are your starting lineups for today's action. For the visiting Cincinnati Reds, leading off, Jonathan India, playing second base, batting .316 on the year with one home run. Friedel in center, he's batting .306, 2 home runs and 2 RBI. Fraley out in right and batting third. At a .370 clip, he has 9 RBIs and a home run. The designated hitter, Tyler Stevenson, and batting cleanup, .289 with 4 RBI. Will Myers batting fifth and playing first base tonight. Vossler at third and batting .188. Barrero batting 7th and playing short. Mail is behind the plate and batting 8th. And batting 9th is Benson. He'll be playing left field. Starter tonight for the Cincinnati Reds, Hunter Green, comes in, no wins, no losses, 8 innings pitched, 13 strikeouts, 3 walks, 1 home run given up, a 5.63 ERA, and a 2.00 whip. Now for the lineup for your hometown Atlanta Braves. Leading off and playing right field, batting .340 on the year, is Ronald Acuna Jr. He has 2 home runs and 6 RBI. Batting second and playing first base, Matt Olson, .319 on the year, 4 home runs and 12 RBIs. Batting third and playing third, Austin Riley, a .318 clip with 2 homers and 7 RBI. Sean Murphy is your cleanup hitter, batting .214 behind the dish with 1 home run and 5 RBI. Eddie Rosario is batting 5th, .194, no RBI. Ozzy Albies hitting 6th tonight. Switch hitter will start off on the left-hand side, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs, and a .229 average. Your number 7 hitter, Orlando Arcia, batting .333 on the young season, 2 home runs, 7 RBI. Marcell Ozuna, 3 for 32 on the year with 2 home runs and 2 RBI. And Sam Hilliard will be patrolling center field and batting 9th. He has a .368 average with an RBI and 1 stolen base. On the mound for your Atlanta Braves, it's Spencer Strider Day. Strider is 1-0 with a .245 ERA, a 1.18 whip, 11 inning pitch, 18 strikeouts, 6 walks, 1 home run, and 7 hits allowed. We are just about ready for first pitch, and your Atlanta Braves are looking for a 3-game sweep of the Cincinnati Reds. So grab you a cold one, pull up an armchair. It's just about time for Braves Country Baseball. Good evening, y'all. Let's get this thing going. We're just moments away from the beginning of a sweep, and welcoming on to the broadcast is Mr. Tampa Tones. Tones, how the hell are you this evening, sir?
Living the dream, brother. Braves, Reds, baseball on a beautiful Wednesday night. What more can you ask for? A up-and-coming young squad against a veteran former World Series champ squad. This one's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, you've got a couple of keys to the game. To me, it's Strider hitting his mark and obviously going in there and getting – I'd like to see 6 innings out of him tonight and keeping the base on balls to a minimum. He's had 6 walks in his previous starts. I'd like to see him keep it down to 1, 2 at the most. But with that, keep his strikeout rate up. And as far as Hunter Green goes, he's going to be a tough customer, but I do believe the Braves can get to him. But this is the first time most of them have seen him, so it'll probably take at least one time through the order. What are you seeing as we approach first pitch?
Yeah, I see 2 young pitchers here who are going to look to work the strike zone. They're going to try and be on top of their game. They both have strikeout stuff here. So I think the key for both of these young pitchers, especially Hunter Green on the red side of things, but really try and hit the strike zone, try and find your stride, throw strikes. Yes, you want swinging strikes, but at the same time, these are strikeout pitchers who do throw out of the strike zone. So when you miss your pitches, miss them effectively, generate swinging strikes. We've seen Hunter Green last year let up a plethora of walks a handful of times. So he's really got to limit those, especially against a potent lineup like Atlanta.
Spencer Strider's doing his final warm-up tosses. The Atlanta Braves are in their all-white home uniforms with the red lettering, red numerals, navy outline, and navy lettering on the back. Braves across the chest with the red tomahawk, blue ball cap, red bill, and the white A. The Cincinnati Reds are in their road grays as we're getting set here. Just a few more tosses as Riley looks ready. Arcia looks ready. Cincinnati in the all gray roads with Cincinnati across the chest in red writing, red numerals, white outline. Jonathan India is climbing into the box. And it's baseball time in Braves country. righty-righty matchup. Strider, 99, kicks and deals, and the first pitch on the way is a fastball swung on and fouls back and down the line, but kicking foul just past the right field line into the stands. It's 0-1.
And India is a nice little leadoff guy for the Reds. Tough guy to get out.
0-1 pitch from Strider, swung on, and that ball is roasted up the middle between the 4-6 hole. That's going to be a leadoff single for the Reds.
And a guy like Jonathan India is a great guy to get on here early for Cincinnati because he's got the wheels to maybe swipe a bag, but if not swipe a bag, extend a base hit into a couple extra bases. He's a real threat on the base path. Good start here for Cincinnati.
Braves nothing, Reds nothing. If you're just joining us here on Braves Country Baseball, Wednesday night broadcast to you. Tampa Tones joining us for the Braves Country Baseball broadcast tonight. And the first pitch on the way to Friedel, backhanded by Murphy. Good defensive play to keep that ball from getting away. It's 1-0.
Sean Murphy, that's why they acquired him. Really good defensively, good offensively, but really good on defense.
Righty-lefty matchup. Strider kicks and deals. Fastball off the plate wide, 96 miles an hour, 2-0.
This is what I meant with these young guns. Hit your strikes, hit your pitches. You want to throw strikes. Strider finds himself in a hole here.
Strider looks in. He delivers. Fastball swung on and fouled back out of play. 96 mile an hour against the screen. 2-1.
Perfect execution there on Strider. That's what you want these guys to go after. It's all right that they're swinging and making contact. That's what you want here.
The 2-1, one on, nobody out. Strider from the stretch kicks and deals and swung on, and that ball is slicing foul down the left field line. It will be out of play up against the screen. 2-2 to Friedel.
Long strikes count just as good as the ones that are swinging or looking. So good job there by Strider. Now he's in control here. Let's see what he does.
Braves nothing. Reds nothing. Top of the first inning. Atlanta Braves going for a 3-game sweep, winning last night 7-6. The 2-2 from Strider. Nope, he's going to turn and flip it over, try to keep the leadoff runner close by. We'll do it again at 2-2.
And remember, with the new rules, you can't do that all the time anymore. So
2-2 pitch from Strider. And here's the delivery, swung on and popped up. Will that stay in play? Riley chases it down the line, but to no avail into the stands about 8 rows back, and we'll do it again at 2-2.
Look for Strider to get him to chase here. Fred Ells made a couple good pieces of contact with 2 strikes here now. So he's battling. Let's see what Strider's got.
2-2 count. Righty-lefty matchup. Friedel batting .306. Here's the pitch swung on. That ball is roasted into right field over the leaping glove of Ozzie Albies. Runners on first and second. Nobody out. Here to start the game.
And with 2 strikes, Friedel does a nice job there of choking up a little bit, going down to get that actually, and making good contact. Good job there.
Been really impressed by Friedel and top of that Reds lineup in general. They make good contact. They've got good speed. They're going to be a problem for teams all year long.
Youngry.
So that'll bring Fraley up to the plate. And Fraley swing and a miss on the first pitch, and it's 0-1.
Had him swinging out of his shoes there. He's looking for an RBI early on in the count.
0-1 pitch. He was out in front of that slider. Here's the delivery and swung on. That ball is hit high and deep into center field, going back on the track at the wall. Making the catch is Hilliard. He'll fire it back into the infield, but both runners move up 90 feet, second and third, one away.
And Fraley just missed that one. It got almost all the way to the wall. Great job there by Strider keeping it in the park. Yes, they do get a run in, but could have been a lot worse. Or they moved the runners up, I'm sorry. Could have been a lot worse there, as that could have been 3 runs. Here it's no runs, and Strider has a chance to dance around it.
The runners on second and third, one away. Cleanup hitter Tyler Stevenson comes to the plate, and the fastball's right there at the knees. 96 mile an hour over the dish. It's 0-1.
One of the more underrated catchers in baseball. If it wasn't for an injury last year, I think more people would know about Tyler Stevenson.
Stevenson from Atlanta, Georgia. The righty-righty matchup, the 0-1 pitch just below the knees misses. Home plate umpire Marvin Hudson, did not give him the benefit of the doubt. It's 1-1.
Stevenson's the guy who said he attributes a lot of his knowledge or his career to a guy like Tucker Barnhart. So cool to see him learning from the vets.
1-1 pitch, swing and a miss, 96 mile an hour, right in his kitchen, couldn't catch up, and it's 1-2.
High heat there. You can't catch that. We'll see if Strider goes back to it up in the saddle here.
Runners on second and third. Go ahead run 90 feet away, 1 out. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Murphy sets up outside, swung on and fouled down the line. We'll do it again at 1-2.
Yeah, and he's staying alive here, but not a bad pitch by Strider. Gets Stevenson to foul it off. We'll see if he goes low and in here.
The 1-2 count. On the way and top of the zone. That looked like that might have kissed the top, but they're not going to give it to him. Evens up the count at 2-2.
Looked like it did kiss the top there. I'm not sure why he didn't get that. Maybe because a little bit of glove movement by Murphy, but nonetheless should have been a strike in my opinion.
2-2. 2 on, 1 away. Here's the pitch swung on. That ball is rifled into right field. So the blown call by the ump is going to cost the Braves at least 1, if not 2. Here's the play at the plate and safe. 2-0 Cincinnati.
And that's why umpires do play parts in some baseball games. A close strike 3 call doesn't get called. Here, India and Friedel come around to score. The good hitting catcher, Tyler Stevenson, one of Cincinnati's best, comes through with a second opportunity in the clutch there.
Yeah, good piece of hitting by Stevenson. A little surprised that they didn't go back to the inside heat to try to get him to pop one up. They laid that slider right in across the plate. Probably got a little bit too much of the plate than what they wanted. Here's the first pitch on the way to Myers, and it's a fastball right there at the knees. It's 0-1.
Nice job there. Will Myers bounced around a little bit. Looks like he's settling in here on a young Red squad to try and be that veteran presence.
Cincinnati 2, Atlanta 0. Top of the first inning, the 0-1. Swung on and hit high down the right field line, drifting back on the track. Just before the wall, Acuna makes the catch, and there's 2 away.
Nice job there by getting an easy out, quick in the count. 1 pitch in, 2 pitches in, and then a fly out. Good job there. Will Myers could have really kept this thing going. Strider's looking to escape here, stop the bleeding here, and with Atlanta's offense, you're in it.
So that'll bring Vossler to the plate. Vossler, playing first last night, is now at third base this evening. Righty-lefty matchup. The first pitch on the way to Vossler is right there at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1.
Yeah, and Vossler here off to a cold start this season, batting 188, but he does have some pop, 3 homers, 9 ribbies.
According to his profile, he's 29 years old, but I swear he is very baby-faced. The 0-1 pitch. Inside, just misses off the dish. It's 1-1 fastball.
Trying to make his presence here in Cincinnati. We've seen a couple of older guys do that, like Adam Duvall, former Brave and Red. They come up late with the power.
The 1-1, 1 on, 2 away, and swing and a miss, slider down below the ankles, and it's 1-2.
And a lot of these guys get these opportunities with the Reds because of great American ballpark, have a nice performance there, but then they learn truly how to hit for power.
1-2 your count, 1 on, 2 away. Strider looks in. He fires and check swing down the line. Stay alive. It's 1-2.
And good job there by Vossler, just barely getting a piece of that one to stay alive. I think Strider's ready to sit him down here with the high cheese.
So you got a 1-2 pitch. 1 on, 2 away. Fastball misses top of the zone, and it's 2-2.
And he did try for the high cheese there. Vossler was smart enough to lay off, but Strider is still riding in charge in this count here at 2-2.
2-2 pitch. Barrero on deck. Here's the delivery, swung on, and that ball is rifled down the right field line, but foul up against the screen in the corner. We'll do it again at 2-2.
It's pretty interesting because they are making decent contact against Strider here, but all that contact aside, there should almost be no run scored in the inning if it wasn't for a blown call by the Blue.
So Deuces Wild, 2-2, 2 out. Cincinnati leads 2-0. Swing and a miss. Fastball, but just got a piece of it to stay alive. Foul tipped out of the glove of Murphy. It's 2-2.
Looked like it was a swing and a miss, but barely grazes it there. Murphy's just unable to hang on. Tough break there for Strider.
Strider looks in. Here's the pitch. Fastball outer edge. Tried to frame it, but just off the dish. Now a full count, and the runners will be on the move.
Runners are going to be on the move indeed from first to second, so that means one in the gap by Vossler probably gets it to 3-0.
The 3-2 pitch. Here's the windup and swing and a miss. Strike three. Yak him. Sit him down, Joe. His fingers are so. We're going to grab the bats and be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
Let's ride.
Cheeseburger. It was a homeless woman, wasn't it?
It was a homeless woman, yeah. He said that he had to give his kidnappers $500, so he gave her his credit card to go get him $500 and whatever, because none of it turns out to probably wasn't true.
You know what this sounds like to me? It sounds like Allensby got all liquored up and paid a homeless woman $500 to roll around under the bridge with him.
Well, that is exactly what I think happened, because now they got two guys coming out saying that they found him unconscious on the side of a road and that they weren't kidnapping him, but he kept yelling at them that, "Do you know who I am? Give me back my wallet. I'm worth $1 million."
Turned out it wasn't a wine bar; it was a strip club. So let's say what really happened here. We've all been there. Well, at least I'm not going to speak for anybody else. I've been there, and
yeah, I don't know if everybody's been under a bridge with a homeless woman giving her $500 after chugging down the line. I've been in similar instances, but I'm not going to say I've been there. First of all, it takes a lot less than $500, okay, buddy? That's where you got taken right there from the jump.
Armchair.
I declare bankruptcy! I
got lost in the game. I mean, the ballpark, the people, the color, the sounds, the smells, and it's a passion. It's a very, very big part of my life. Sometimes I like to be 11 years old. I like being part of something that's bigger than me. It's good for your soul to invest in something you can't control.
You're a romantic. You have a lyrical soul. You can love under the best and worst conditions.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Hunter Green, big right-hander, takes the mound. Braves trail 2-0. The first pitch is inside to Acuna, spinning him around. It's 1-0.
1-0, good start for Acuna, who's off to it. Pretty good start, batting a cool 340, no big deal.
The 1-0 to Acuna, right there for a strike on the outer edge. It's 1-1.
And you never feel comfortable in the account with Acuna.
23-year-old right-hander swung on, and that ball's hammered high and deep. Get down, baby, where the green grass grows. It's in the gap. Here comes Acuna around first. He'll truck on into second, and it's a leadoff double for your Atlanta Braves.
What did I just say? You never feel comfortable with this guy at the plate. Hunter Green got a little complacent. Acuna does a nice job making contact with that one as Green leaves it right down the middle. Fielders playing a little in, it seemed. Acuna does a great job poking it over their head into second base easily for one of the best in the game.
Hunter Green, Christian Hunter Green, his full name. He's from Los Angeles, California, 23 years old, right-hander. And the first pitch is a fastball, misses high outside, check swing by Olsen. He did not go around. It's 1-0.
Matt Olson, my prediction before the season started for NL MVP, off to a good start.
The 1-0, swung on and missed. Fastball pumped it right by him. 1-1.
Olson, the former A's, really made his blueprint here with the Braves after a nice first year here last season, replacing Freddie Freeman.
1-1 from Green, swung on and missed. Right by him. 1-2.
Now you got to dig deep here for Olson. Choke up a little bit. You're okay. You're one of the better hitters in baseball. You don't got to do too much here with 2 strikes. Just don't expand your zone too much. Hunter Green is susceptible to leaving it over the middle, as we've seen.
Olson asked for quick time. He got it. The 1-2 pitch swung on and fouled down the line. Do it again at 1-2.
Yeah, Matt Olson really looked like an MVP candidate last night on that big home run rip he had. He hammered that thing to right center field. Good to see for the Braves.
Cincinnati 2, Braves nothing. Bottom of the first. Acuna on second, nobody out. The 1-2 pitch to Olson swung on, just got a piece of it, knocked it off the dish. Stay alive, it's 1-2.
Hunter Green was the opening day starter for this Reds team this year. He's the best they have to offer right now. This is power on power right here.
Updated NLE standings in 1 second. The 1-2 pitch swing and a miss, strike 3. Blew it right past Olson, and there's one away.
Olson's not going to be happy about that one. He expanded his zone a little bit. He knows he's better than that. He'll look to get redemption next time up.
I think he might have been looking off speed. He was just a touch behind that. The New York Mets won. The Philadelphia Phillies lost to the Marlins. So your updated National League East standings as Riley steps in, and the first pitch on the way is swung on and hit high, deep down the left field line. Will it stay fair? Bending foul. It's a loud strike at 0-1.
Talk about major league pop-up. That is a major league pop-up. That thing went far, high, way out of play. Long strike 1 for Austin Riley. Batting .318 this season.
So Mets are 1.5 behind the Braves. Miami 2.5. The Phillies 4. Nats 4.5. The 0-1 pitch to Olson. Check swing. Did he go around? They're going to check down first base umpire Hunter Wendell said he did not go around. I don't think he did either. It's 1-1.
Yeah, I was going to say, if they said he went, I think the ump needs new glasses. Good job there, Blue.
The 1-1 to Riley. Righty matchup. Here's the pitch inside, taken all the way. It's 2-1.
Riley thrives in a count like this. Just looking to get 1 here. 2 would be nice, but chip away here early.
2-1 the count. Acuna leading off the second base. Here's the pitch swung on and fouled back. Fisted behind home plate. It's 2-2.
Looked a little uncomfortable on that swing as it was a tad inside. Fisted there, but good job getting contact there. We'll see if Riley could try and make something out of nothing here with this 2-2 count.
Braves trail by 2. Bottom of the first inning. Acuna in scoring position. Hunter Green spins and does not offer 2 second, but that is considered a move. So 1 of his 2 moves used.
Interesting stuff.
The 2-2 from Green on the way. Swing and hit high and deep, but playable. Underneath it is center fielder making the catch. The relay throw from Friedel into the infield. Barrero's got it, but Acuna tags up from second to third, but there are 2 away.
Nice job there of being alert and tagging by Acuna. Not that deep of a fly ball, moderately deep, but with Acuna's speed, makes it into third. Not all the runners can make that. 2 outs now. They need something here from their big offseason acquisition, Sean Murphy.
Sean Murphy batting .214, a home run. The walk-off job the other night. First pitch on the way is a swing and a miss, and it's 0-1.
Murphy coming into this game 3-for-8 on the series with 3 ribbies and a dinger.
The 0-1 kicks and deals down below the knees, just off the plate and low. It's 1-1.
Murphy here batting .214 on the season, stepping in a bigger role with Travis d'Arnaud on the IL.
1-1 pitch on the way, swung on and hammered over to third, backhanded. Vossler has it. He flips it over to first, a 5-3 put out to end the inning.
Vossler, good play there. The third baseman is able to make a throw to get him out.
It's not what he said, you ignorant wretch. Spanish is worse than your English.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Ed's Almost Good Beer. Remember, Ed's Almost Good Beer was brewed in God's country when God wasn't looking.
What the hell's going on out here? Everybody grabbing out there. Nobody touching. Just grabbing, everybody. Grab. Nobody touching.
I can't talk right now. Why don't you give me your home number and I'll call you later?
Well, I'm sorry. We're not allowed to do that.
Oh, I guess you don't want people calling you at home.
No.
Well, now you know how I feel.
Armchair.
Braves Country today. We're talking Southern sports. We go live 3 to 5 weekdays right here on WQEE. Braves Country today, Southern sports talk with the voice of Braves Country baseball, Mac Magee. Joined every day from sports analysts from all over Braves Country, talking college football, the NFL, Major League Baseball, and what's trending in the world of sports. Braves Country today. We go live 3 to 5 weekdays right here on WQEE.
Harry Wright, a former center fielder for the Knickerbocker Baseball Club, believed there were big profits to be made in baseball. And in 1869, he assembled the very first professional team, Cincinnati Red Stockings. Only one of Wright's Red Stockings actually came from Cincinnati. Most were young New Yorkers, 19 or 20 years old. Wright drilled them in the fundamentals, insisted they be silent and businesslike on the field, and dressed them in knickers to boost their running speed.
You're listening to Braves Country Baseball on Braves Country HD. Please like and subscribe today, youtube.com/@Braves Country. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. The Atlanta Braves trailing 2-0. Spencer Strider's going to go back to work. And he'll face Barrero. Mayle and Benson due up. The bottom of the order. First pitch is inside for a ball. It's 1-0.
Barrero pretty ripped at the plate there, busting out of his arm guard.
The 1-0 pitch called for a strike on the inner edge. It's 1-1.
Not a big guy, but built guy, and batted .238 on the year. This series has a dinger.
Whatever you're into, the 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss, and it's 1-2.
No, I think he needs a bigger arm guard.
I'm starting to think that might be an eye patch. The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike three, slider, got him fishing, and there's one away.
And that didn't help Barrero there, as he's had a good series, but Strider says, nuh-uh, you got something to learn. He does a nice job, lower breaking ball out of the zone there, 83 miles an hour, swings right over the top of it, Barrero does.
So 1 out, nobody on, and the first pitch is a fastball, top of the zone, just misses off the edge, 98 miles an hour, it's 1-0.
Mayle, no relation to former pitcher Tyler.
The 1-0 right there at the knees for a strike, 98 mile an hour, just kissing the black on the inner corner. It's 1-1.
Strider's looking to make quick work here of the lower part of the Reds order.
The 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss, right down Main Street, pumped it right by him, 97 miles an hour. It's 1-2.
He's their third string catcher behind both Caselli and Stevenson.
The 1-2 delivery swung on and fouled back out of play. It's 1-2.
In 76 games across the bigs last year, Mayle had 3 homers and batted in the lower 200. So not the biggest with the stick.
The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike three, sit him down, and there's 2 away.
Strider is finding his rhythm here. Barrero and Mayle down on back-to-back strikeouts. Let's see if he could get a 1, 2, 3 innings, all strikeouts here. He's looking like he's finding his groove, and if you're a Reds fan, that's not a good sign, because once Spencer Strider finds his rhythm, look out.
So 2 away in the bottom of the order. Number 9 hitter Lefty Benson takes a pitch high, fastball on the outer edge. It's 1-0.
Benson here, not a mistake, ladies and gentlemen, batting 56 on the season.
The 1-0 fastball, top shelf, outer edge. It's 1-1.
I have a buddy we once called 5'6", so Will Benson reminds me of my buddy since he's batting 56.
The 1-1 to Benson, swing and fouls it down the line.
I will say for the left fielder, no matter how you're doing in the pros, if you're in the pros, you're one of the best at your craft. So we'll see what Will Benson does with 2 strikes.
1-2 to the tall left-hander, swung on and popped up, but out of play, 99 mile an hour right down Main Street. Do it again at 1-2.
Benson is a guy looking to cement his place here in Cincinnati early on into the season in a shaked-up roster.
The 1-2 pitch, swung on and fouled down the line, out of play, bending about 10 to 12 rows back over third base, and it's 1-2.
The lefty hitter throws lefty as well. He's from Atlanta, Georgia.
The 1-2 pitch, swung on, just got a piece of it to stay alive. It's 1-2.
You know, the Atlanta, Georgia native probably has a big crowd and attendance, I'd be guessing as well, here playing in front of his home park and family.
Spencer Strider, 43rd pitch of the night, swung on and fouled straight back. We'll do it again. It's 1-2.
And you got to wonder, Magee, probably grew up a Braves fan, Benson. Always must give you an interesting, jittery feeling when you go back to your hometown to play.
The 1-2 pitch. Fastball misses off the plate. It's 2-2.
Benson showing patience here, working the count a little bit. Strider's up to 44 pitches in the contest early on.
The 2-2 from Strider, swung on and popped up. Will it stay in play? Nope. Ben's back out behind home plate and into the stands. 2-2 once again.
45 pitches now for Strider as he's looking to strike him out. I'd look for a high heater here. Put him away.
The 2-2 from Spencer Strider. He kicks and deals, swung on, and that ball is roasted down the first base line. Plenty foul, and we'll do it again at 2-2.
It was a heater, but of the inside variety. He's making good contact. It's a good fight here from the Georgia native.
The 11th pitch of the at bat, swing and a miss, strike 3. So it took him a while, but he struck out the side. We'll be back in a flash here on Braves Country.
Let's ride.
I'm not playing your stupid game.
You can't go cheap on the TP. So I'm going to throw the honorable mention of diapers. You can go to a lesser name brand and there's a median there, store brand diapers, garbage. You will have more blowouts and cleanups than you will know what to do with.
Are you willing
It
to
is
go,
not worth saving the dollar.
Are you willing to go to cloth diapers to save money?
No.
Does anybody still do that? What a terrible idea.
Yes. Yes.
Do they?
There are people. Yes.
That's such
and
a
they need
terrible
hug me
idea.
jackets. They have lost their mind. There's no way I would process that thing through my washing
Why would I
machine
want
and then ever wear anything out of it again?
I mean, if someone drizzles on my shoes in the men's room, I'm throwing them out. I don't want a full-blown episode and go, well, we can reuse those. Don't throw them out. Who came up with that idea?
Armchair.
Hey, Braves fans, I'm Mac Magee with Braves Country. We'll be right here on the key all year long giving you Braves Country baseball, pitch by pitch, inning by inning of your Atlanta Braves. Make sure to catch Braves Country right here on the key. We go live 3 to 5, and we'll keep you up to date on the upcoming schedule for Braves Country. That's Braves Country HD and Braves Country baseball right here on the key.
For the first time, to the shock of the baseball community, he paid each player a salary. The highest paid was Harry's brother George, the shortstop, who received a considerable sum of $1,400 a season, 7 times the average working man's wage.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. The Atlanta Braves trail 2-0. We head to the bottom of the second inning. Cincinnati grabbed 2 in the top of the first. Atlanta threatened in the first inning, but Acuna was left out to dry at third base. The first pitch on the way to Rosario is a fastball off the plate wide, but they call that a strike. It's 0-1.
Yeah, I don't know how that one was a strike. Woo!
The 0-1 pitch in the dirt. Well in the dirt, it's 1-1.
Yeah, that thing bounced equal pretty much at home plate, if not just a little before. Green little wild.
The 1-1 pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. 97 mile an hour. Top shelf, it's 1-2.
Big swing there, but Eddie Rosario still has 1 strike left. We'll see if he can make it count.
The 1-2 swung on. That ball is hammered down the right field line. Get down, get going. Eddie Rosario rounds first. He's heading towards second. There's a play at the bag just in time, and Eddie Rosario's got a leadoff double.
The former Cleveland Indian does his best job there to turn on the burners and make it into second. Rosario with a nice piece of contact takes it over the first baseman's head into right field. Looks like it's a single. He stretches it into 2. Well done job there by Eddie Rosario, the crafty veteran with the bat.
So Braves trail 2-0. Ozzie Albies comes to the plate, left side of the plate. Open stance. First pitch is a 97 mile an hour fastball, top shelf, and it's 0-1.
Albies here coming back from a year where he missed with injury. Not the full year, but a lot of the year, batting .229 to start the season.
The 0-1 to Albies. On the way, swung on and missed. That ball's going to get down. Rosario had to backtrack towards second. He thought that the second baseman may be making the play on it. Instead, it goes into center field, right center. The right fielder for the Cincinnati Reds, Fraley, brings it back in. So you got runners on first and third. Rosario did go from second to third, but could not score.
And since they had the shortstop cover in the bag with a lefty at the dish, that left a mini gap there. Say the second baseman was covering that bag, he might have a better chance at catching it. Great job by Albies there.
First pitch on the way to Arcia is a swing and a miss. Fastball at the top of the zone. It's 0-1.
Orlando and the Braves just recently inked to an extension. Good to see for the young player in the franchise.
The 0-1 pitch. Swung on, fouled straight back. It's 0-2.
I remember when he came up with Milwaukee, he was a very good player in the NL Central. Braves are nice to get a nice young middle infielder here for a good price.
The 0-2. Inside hits him. Is he okay? He is holding his wrists, hopping around. We'll have to see what's going on there with Arcia.
Oh, you hate to see that. Ron Washington checking on him. High and inside. Base is now loaded. That's one that looks nasty on TV. Obviously feels a lot nastier if you're at the brunt of the hit. But, man, the way Arcia's hand is in place right now, I'm not sure he'll be able to go back out there. And if he does, he's quite the warrior. Green throws pretty hard. That was high and tight. Looks like it got him right around the wrist area. Let's pray for Arcia here. If he comes back in this one, he's a brave, folks. He's a warrior.
Braves trainers are checking on him to see if there's movement in his left hand is what they're looking at. He's taking his glove off now. I'm sure they're checking to see if swelling, and hit him right on the wrist bone.
One of the fans and managers' biggest nightmare areas when a batter's batting, obviously the head and then that wrist.
I've never understood why players don't wear more protective gear in that area. Some of the guys used to.
They must feel like it's hindering their bat swing. Maybe.
If Bagwell can make it work, then I feel like it looks like he's going to stay in the game, but that doesn't mean anything. We'll see if he goes back out on the field after the inning. Sometimes they wait to see if the swelling goes up, but he is going to stay in the game. He's heading down to first. So that's the good news.
Yeah, Warrior
Bad
right
news
there.
is Marcell Ozuna is coming to the plate. The bases are loaded, nobody out, and the big bear will step in. The first pitch on the way, he swings and whiffs at one, falling off the plate, and he was stepping towards third base. It's 0-1.
Ozuna with one of the more wild careers in MLB modern day history, I should say.
The 0-1 pitch, swung on and missed again. Slider to get it started, and it's whiff 0-2.
Made a name for himself with Miami early on, got traded to St. Louis, suspended for steroids, and found himself in Atlanta later on.
The 0-2 pitch, swing, and just gets a piece of that to stay alive, knocks it foul out of play. We'll do it again at 0-2.
Was a very good player in all three cities, Miami, St. Louis, and Atlanta, but found himself in some off-field shenanigans, and although not guilty, he just never seemed to bounce back on the field.
The 0-2 pitch, swung on and missed strike three, and he'll have a seat. And Ozuna will continue to hit south of 100. Sam Hilliard will come to the plate.
They need Hilliard here with the pick-me-up. And Ozuna, that's what we've seen a lot this season. Strikeout or home run, feast or famine. Sadly, it was famine there when they needed him to feast.
So that'll bring up Sam Hilliard. Sam Hilliard batting .368 on the year. The left-hander takes the first pitch off the plate, but called strike. It's 0-1.
And Hilliard batting .500 this series, 2 for 4 at the dish and a ribby.
The 0-1 pitch on the way. Righty-lefty matchup, swing and a miss. 98-mile-an-hour fastball, pumps it top shelf. And it's 0-2.
Hilliard going to have to choke up a bit here now. Just get a sac fly at the very worst. Come on.
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike three. So the 8-9 hitters go strikeout after loading the bases with nobody out.
And we've seen that vice versa. The Reds 7-8-9 last inning fell victim to strikeouts by Strider. Now Green gets Atlanta's 8-9. We'll see if Acuna could make do with the bases loaded. Big spot here.
So all the pressure on Acuna now, as there's two away, a base hit would score at least one. The first pitch is inside for a ball. It's 1-0.
Acuna, 353 this season, 970 OPS, 2 home runs. He could do damage, and it could be right here.
The 1-0, right there for a strike on the intercut slider, 1-1.
Acuna is looking to at least tie this game with a single. You would think it'd be tied.
The 1-1 pitch, fastball top shelf, called for a strike, and it's 1-2.
And it looked like it hit the top of the zone, but it wasn't far different from the pitch we've seen earlier. Both seem to have went Cincinnati's way now, one offensively and now one pitching-wise.
Bases loaded, two away, 1-2 pitch. On the way, swung on, and that ball is hit up the middle. A diving attempt under the glove. 1 run will score. Wash is waving Ozzy around. 2 runs will score. The game is tied. Runners on first and third, 2 away. A big RBI single for your Atlanta Braves.
You know what they say, McGee. Big-time players make big-time plays. The Braves needed a big hit right there. First 2 guys strike out with the bases loaded. Acuna gets down to 2 strikes. Just a professional hitter. Takes it right up the middle on the ground there. Easily 2 runners score. Great job there by Acuna and the Braves.
Good piece of hitting. They had the shortstop play closer to third, so he had a long way to go as that ball went straight up the middle. That'll bring Matt Olson to the plate righty-lefty matchup. The first pitch to Olson is a swing and a miss. Acuna's on his horse, and vroom, vroom, he steals second.
Hip, hip, he just went in there, got to second base. Woo! Look at Acuna go. Uniform's dirty, could use a wash, but that's usually a good sign. Great job there by the guy on third to not jump either on the bite.
So now a base hit could score 2. The 0-1 to Olson, swung on and missed. 99 miles an hour. Didn't know he had that in his kitty, and it's 0-2.
These young guns are really pumping it in. Strider and Green, two of the better young talents in the game here. We'll see. Power on power. Who wins, Green or Olson?
Reds infield on a slight shift. The 0-2 pitch on the way. Swung on. That ball's hit hard down the right field line. Is it fair? It is just foul. We'll do it again at 0-2.
Barely foul. We're talking hairs foul, inches foul. Olson just straightened that out a couple inches, and you got to double down the line. We'll see if he could do it here.
Braves 2, Reds 2. The 0-2 pitch. Fastball. Good eye by Olson this time. Did not chase. It's 1-2.
They tried to get Olson to climb the ladder. 98 miles an hour on the radar gun there. Green couldn't get his swing and strike there. The more patient Olson is, the more pitches he'll get here in this at-bat.
About a 10-mile-an-hour difference between fastball and slider. The 1-2 pitch off the plate wide, 87. Good eye. It's 2-2.
Low and in the dirt there. Great job there by Olson hanging up. And again, patience is key. Brings the count to 2-2. He might get something decent to hit here in the coming pitches.
The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that'll end the inning. But not before your Atlanta Braves tie it up. We head to the top of the third. The Reds, top of the order, coming to the plate.
That's right.
And I gotta tell you, fellas, you have got what appears to be a dynamite sound.
You'll do anything to stay healthy. So isn't it time to think about your water? Aquasana water filters remove contaminants other filters don't, like lead, bacteria, viruses, and pesticides. Up to 99% of 88 contaminants, while leaving vital minerals you need like potassium, calcium, and magnesium. Visit waterfilter.com now. That's waterfilter.com for pure, delicious water and the ultimate peace of mind. Aquasana, better water, better you.
But there's a tier level of like college and adult life, and I'm not going back to the college level tier. You can't go, this isn't walking back into my fridge. Not ever happening again.
Well, no,
but ice at that.
But if I'm somewhere, okay, Busch Light I can deal with. Natty Light, no. Natty Light, I don't even feel like it's, I don't know. Natty Ice, definitely not. That's just a headache in a can. But when I say cheap beer, like stuff that's not, the upper echelon, I'm talking about your domestics. I can live on a domestic. I don't have to have the hippest, $15 for a 6-pack beer. I'm fine with.
Oh, definitely. I mean, heck, let's face it. After the first two, they all taste the same after that.
Well, yeah, and if you're going to drink all day, I'm not trying to mess around with the double IPAs and porters and stuff like that. Dude, you're about to go to a dark place.
Armchair.
The Red Stockings finished their first season with a record of 65 wins and not a single loss. They also managed to turn a profit for their investors, $1.39. The city that had once prided itself on the stockyards had become the baseball capital of the country, and the Red Stockings spread the gospel from New York to San Francisco, traveling on the just completed Transcontinental Railroad.
Welcome back, Braves Country Baseball. The first pitch on the way from Strider to start the third inning. Misses high for a ball to India. Righty-righty matchup. It's 1-0.
India got on in the first and came around to score. We'll see if he does the same.
The 1-0 misses high. It's 2-0. I just saw a photo during the break as the 2-0 pitch on the way inside, 95-mile-an-hour fastball, 3-0. And it was a photo tones of the last inning where Arcia was standing just before that single came through. The 3-0 pitch, ball 4 down below the knees, a 4-pitch walk to start the inning, and Strider's woes continue.
Yeah, and what did I say? Key to the game, McGee? Accuracy, getting the ball over the plate. You've seen it hurt both pitchers a little bit here now. They've let some quote-unquote free runs by with some walks and a little bit of inaccuracy.
So actually it was where Arcia was standing, where when Olson was at the plate. As the first pitch on the way is high, called for a strike, it's 0-1. In the view that they're showing, one of the Braves writers, he is about halfway from third down the line, and it has to do with the fact that they were playing the third baseman was playing the shortstop position as the 0-1 pitch to Friedel is swung on and fouled back. It's 0-2. I think he might have been able to go down there and steal home because the pitcher would not have been able to step off and throw over to third. The third baseman had at least 50 feet to run over to the bag.
Double shift.
The 0-2 pitch down below the knees, called for a ball. It's 1-2. Just something to keep an eye on next time the Braves have someone on third. They might put something in play there. I've often wondered why more runners don't do that, to just try to entice, especially with today's rules, because you can get a balk pretty easily.
You sure can.
The 1-2 pitch swung on, and that ball is going to be sliced into left field for a single. Runners on first and second, nobody out, top third.
Nice piece of hitting there from Friedel. He just dumps it into the outfield, little duck snort type hit. Really wasn't a terrible sequence from Strider. Lets that one catch a little bit too much of the plate, and Friedel does a good job dumping it into left field.
So runners on first and second, nobody out. Second time the Reds have done that in the first 3 innings. Fraley, left-handed bat, stands in the box, and Strider steps off the mound. So one of his moves is used as he was chasing India back to second. We'll do it again. Runners on first and second, nobody out. Strider looking back the runner. He'll kick and deal, and the fastball misses way inside. It's 1-0.
Strider just has to calm down here, find himself with guys on. You can't let it balloon from here. Keep this game at 2-2. Get it tied. Get down nitty-gritty here. Find the strike zone.
96-mile-an-hour fastball. Good defensive play by Murphy. The 1-0 swing and fouls it down the line. It's 1-1.
83 miles an hour there, a little bit inside off the plate. Fraley chases, drives it down the line on the ground, but to no avail. It's just a bouncing strike.
Jake Fraley, another one of the Cincinnati Reds hitters that's hitting over 300 on the year. The 1-1 pitch just buckles him. Did he go around? Third base umpire Ryan Blackney says he did not. It's 2-1.
So close there. You could tell Fraley wanted that one bad. Must have just held up. Looked pretty close.
2-1 to Fraley. Runners on first and second. Nobody out. And the fastball right there on the outer edge kisses the black. It's 2-2.
Now, if you're Strider here, you want to get him. Don't lose him. Go after him. If he puts it in play, he puts it in play. Could be a double play ball. You never know. But make sure you throw in here a strike.
Braves 2, Reds 2, top of the third inning. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He came out of his shoes, and he'll sit down, grab the pine. You're mine.
You look like a wine cork getting twisted back into an open bottle of wine right there. Literally, nearly coming out of his shoes. Strider, that's the thing. If you can make these guys swing and miss, the potential is there. That thing had some nasty bite on it. Near the dirt at his feet, still swung like a fool.
He'll head back to the clubhouse and find the nearest chiropractor, and there's one away.
Back out of whack after that one.
So that'll bring up. Am I missing something here? Fraley walked back, but now they're saying it's 1-2. I don't know what happened there. Was it a violation?
Yeah, something must have happened because a plethora of things at the at-bat is over, so we'll have to check on that one there. Let me see if I can do something.
Any update. It's a 2-2 count now. Fraley's still in there, even though he just struck out. The 2-2 on the way. It's down below the knees, and they're going to call that a ball. So I guess it was some kind of a violation because they gave him an extra ball, and now the bases are loaded.
It had to be a violation there because, to my knowledge, the count there would have been 3 balls and 3 strikes. 1 strike gets called back, so then it's made into a ball. So, yes, it was a pitching violation on Strider, it seems. My thing is this. They called that one pretty late, it seemed, because Fraley was already...
He was walking back to the dugout.
Yeah, broken back and all, and then he comes back into the batter's box. So I get what they're doing here, but if they want this pitch count thing to work, they got to get a little more tighter on when they're calling it and right away.
Very strange sequence because poor job by home plate umpire Marvin Hudson did not explain anything. Normally, you'll see the home plate umpire come out and give a quick explanation, and then they move on. So the first pitch on the way to the right-handed Stevenson, cleanup hitter, swinging, fouls it back. It's 0-1.
And this is probably the guy you want taking the plate here if you're Cincinnati, one of their better hitters, Tyler Stevenson, with the bases chucked.
Bases loaded, nobody out. The 0-1 pitch from Strider, swing and a miss, 97 mile an hour, and it's 0-2. Second time that he's caught Stevenson right there in his kitchen. See if he actually goes back to that last time up. He went there one time and then faded away from it. The 0-2 pitch swung on and popped up. Stay in play. Olson's drifting over towards first base dugout. He'll make the catch, and there's one away.
And that's a perfect example of why throwing strikes is important. You get up 0-2 in the count on Stevenson, then you could fool around, throw your pitches out of the zone. Does a great job there, throws a good waste pitch. Stevenson goes up the ladder, chases one way out of the zone, flails over, pops up easy. Great job there by Strider.
Spencer Strider, big strikeout there, will now face Will Meyer. In the righty-righty matchup, fastball swung on and missed, top of the zone. It's 0-1.
And you got Myers here, the former Padre and Ray, finds himself under the Mendoza line.
The 0-1 pitch to Will Myers. Fastball right there, taken all the way 99 mile an hour on the outer edge. It's 0-2.
And here's where you got to get down if you're Will Myers here. Just put the ball in play and see what happens. You can't afford a strikeout here.
Braves 2, Reds 2, one down, bases juiced. The 0-2 to Myers. Swung on and ball hit right up to Ozzie. Ozzie boots it, and he'll recover to make the play. It's a 4-3 put out, so a force at first base, but a run does score because of the boot. There will be no error because of the out. You can't assume a double play, but there definitely would have been a double play, and Ozzie grimaces knowing that.
Bang, bang play at first. Good job there by Ozzie to recompose himself and get the out. But as you said, not a good sign because he could have easily gotten a double play ball right there.
But I will say this. If he can limit this to one run, I'll take it. First pitch on the way to Vossler is a fastball on the outer edge. It's 0-1.
And Albie's even, usually guys like that botch a ball and then, lose their composure. At least he was able to get something out of nothing.
Absolutely. The 0-1 pitch, righty-lefty matchup, fastball, outer edge. He's given that strike before, but not there. It's 1-1.
Yeah, and this Marvin Hudson, pretty inconsistent here in the early going. Let's see if he tightens up a little bit down the stretch. It's been pretty bad here, especially for Atlanta early on.
Last night, I'm not very impressed by this entire crew. The 1-1 swing and a miss. It's 1-2, 98 miles an hour on the outer edge. Strider up to 73 pitches here in the third.
Get out of it here, and you'll pitch another inning. Live to pitch another inning.
The 1-2 pitch from Strider. Fastball swung on and fouled down the line. It'll bending out of play, chasing it, but alligator armed by Rosario there at the edge of the foul territory, drops down for a harmless strike. It's 1-2.
Kind of stuck in no man's land there was Rosario. If he lays out for it, probably going to come in contact with that wall. But at the same time, you want to be a little aggressive, but not much he could do there. He was kind of handcuffed.
It would have been a tough play for sure. The 1-2 pitch to Vossler. Kicks and deals, swing, and just got a piece of it. Fouls it as it rolls back to the backstop. We'll do it again at 1-2.
Vossler here making good contact with 2 strikes in the count. We'll see if he could keep it up here with 2 outs.
The 1-2 pitch on the way. Here's the pitch swung on and fouled down the line. We'll do it again at 1-2.
Another tough swing there from Vossler, just hanging alive. Tough battle here. Let's see if Strider could really pick this Braves team up. 1 run would be a win here for this Braves club.
1-2 pitch. Strider kicks back and deals, and inside, good eye by Vossler, runs the count to 2-2.
And Vossler is just looking to get on base here any way possible. Would, of course, like a base knock to get those runs in, but he'd be fine with the walk as well.
Reds 3, Braves 2, top of the 3rd inning. Wind up in the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Slider got him. We'll head to break. The Braves will grab the bats, trailing 3-2. Riley, Murphy, and Rosario on the way.
Let's try.
You couldn't figure out the World Series for yourself? It's just common sense. Anybody knows you gotta keep your worlds apart.
I'm going to go, and I guess to hone it in, I was going to say chemicals, but cleaning supplies.
Okay, yeah, I like it.
You can go cheap on them. You can buy store brand. Doesn't clean to your satisfaction. Just add a little more to it.
What you and I have told the American public today is there's certain things that you don't want to go cheap on, but if it comes down to your health or your cleanliness, you're fine with it.
Armchair.
We sitting here, I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice.
It all starts with just one thing. When recycling, rinse out jars and cans, and avoid recycling waxed paper or paper soiled with food. This will reduce recycling contamination. Find tips and more at onethingus.com. What's your one thing?
Braves Country today. We're talking Southern sports. We go live 3 to 5 weekdays right here on WQEE. Braves Country today, Southern sports talk with the voice of Braves Country baseball, Mac Magee. Joined every day from sports analysts from all over Braves Country, talking college football, the NFL, Major League Baseball, and what's trending in the world of sports. Braves Country today. We go live 3 to 5 weekdays right here on WQEE.
Every magnate in the country is indebted to this man, Harry Wright, for the establishment of baseball as a business, and every patron for furnishing him with a systematic recreation. Every player is indebted to him for inaugurating an occupation by which he gains a livelihood, and the country at large for adding one more industry to furnish employment, sporting life.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch from Green to Riley is outside, edge for a strike, 0-1.
And 0-1 here to Riley, but a hitter like this, never out of the count.
0-1 pitch down below the knees, it's 1-1.
Working quick here is Green.
Reds 3, Braves 2, bottom of the 3rd. The 1-1 pitch to the rake and swing and a miss, and it's 1-2.
And here, Riley's got to choke up a little bit. 3-11 on the season, fly out in the first. Let's see if he can make do.
Riley calls for time. The 1-2 pitch to Riley in the dirt. Good eye. It's 2-2.
Dirt ball there, 1 down. Hard to lay off that one, really, as a hitter. Good job there by Riley to do so.
You know, if nothing else, it'd be good for the Braves to give Strider a breather. The 2-2 pitch swung on, and that ball is roasted between short and third into left field for a leadoff single. And the Braves got something cooking here in the bottom of the 3rd.
Good start here for Atlanta, as this one is turning into a bit of an on-base contest here between the Braves and the Reds in a young pitchers duel. You're going to want to see them work Green out of the game early in this one. The Reds bullpen can't hold up that well.
Reds 3, Braves 2. The first pitch on the way to Murphy is a wide ball It's 1-0.
Murphy coming over from the A's with Olsen, not in the same deal.
The 1-0 pitch swung on. That ball is ripped down the left field line. It's going to rattle around like a pinball. Here comes Riley. Washington's going to wave him. He's a chugging. He's a hugging. He's head first. Is he safe? He is safe. The game is tied. A double RBI for the Murph.
Bang, bang play at the plate there. That is a great example of putting a ball in play and seeing what you could do with it. Murphy drives it down the line. Riley's able to chug into home, head first slide, bang, bang play. Looks like he does just get in over the throw. Good relay there by Benson and Cincinnati and company. Takes one bounce too many, perhaps. Great slide there by Riley.
Tell you what, that was a great slide because our first angle, we couldn't see it, but it was a bang, bang play at the plate. The first pitch swung on by Rosario is dragged over to first. Covering the bag is Green. It's going to be a 3-1 putout, but Murphy will make it down to third, so the leadoff run is 90 feet away with less than 2 outs.
Sacrifice bunt-esque in retrospect, but again, great relay here by the Reds, but what a slide by Riley to get in ahead of that throw. Not many people are capable of doing that.
Perfect head first slide, caught the back end of the plate, and a good play by Mail as a swipe tag just missed. So that'll bring Ozzie Albies to the plate, open stance from the left side, and the first pitch misses outside for a ball. It's 1-0.
Albies here is looking to stay hot in this ball game, 1-for-1 with the ripped single.
The 1-0 pitch swung on and fouled out of play. 1-1.
Let's see if the Braves could get the lead here and never look back. Green pitching a little more efficiently pitch count wise than Strider, but not in the score column, and that's what matters.
The 1-1 pitch on the way, swung on, and that ball is ripped over towards first, backhanded, and stepping on the bag, making the out, and Murphy has to stay at third. A great defensive play by Myers to keep a halfway infield from keeping the run from scoring.
And you know what type of runner you have at third base in Murphy, right? You're able to play not fully in, a little far back from the infield. And Myers with the great drive and diving stop, knows he has Murphy on third, knows he has time to not throw it home, gets a running hustling Albies on a bang-bang play at first. Really impressive play there by Will Myers, a former outfielder turned first baseman.
So that'll bring up to the plate Adrianza. He does come in for Arcia's. Arcia's wrist must be bothering him. First pitch on the way to Adrianza is a swing and fouls it straight back. It's 0-1.
And we said that, hey, just because he's staying in the game, let's see what happens. You never know, because you could run with a bad wrist. Here, his wrist was in a little too much pain to stay in. This one will keep you monitored.
The 0-1 pitch to Adrianza outside wide, 1-1. So now the Braves are really a mash unit out there. When you look at who's in their lineup, Darnode on the 7-day IL for concussion. Michael Harris is out, so you got Hilliard in. Now Arcia is out. The 1-1 pitch caught on the outside for a strike. It's 1-2.
The injuries piling up quickly here in the opening couple of weeks, but one note is, I guess you'd rather have him early than late in the season, so hopefully good health for them to come.
The 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike three, and Adrianza down on strikes. So that'll end the rally, but the Braves tie it up. We head to the fourth, tied at 3.
That's right.
Isn't that just like a wop? Brings a knife to a gunfight.
We live in a world now that welcomes and nurtures the screwball in all of us. Hey, time to get a little nutty. Treat yourself to Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey, a smooth flavor that combines two of America's favorites, peanut butter and American whiskey. So no more social awkwardness. Time to embrace who you truly are. Get out there and make friends. And be sure it starts with Screwball Peanut Butter Whiskey. It's available nearly everywhere. Learn more at screwballwhiskey.com. Please enjoy responsibly.
Cause he's the armchair quarterback. He's full of beer and he's full of snacks. The all-American man.
My number 3 that I can't go cheap on, cereal.
Oh, yeah. There's a couple of kinds that you can do, But if you're talking about, like, don't ever try to do the generic Frosted Flakes.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's like soggy before you even pour the milk on it.
It's before you even open the bag. It's soggy. You're like, how'd that happen? It came with its own liquid.
Armchair.
Hey, Braves Country. Braves Country HD is bringing you Braves Country Baseball all year long. Hi, I'm Mac Magee. We'll be bringing you play-by-play, pitch-by-pitch, inning-by-inning of your Atlanta Braves. Braves Country comes to you every Tuesday night and Friday night, and 2 bonus games every week. Please like and subscribe to youtube.com/@BravesCountry.
Baseball has fallen. Yes, the national game has become degraded. At certain match games, large amounts of money changed hands among the spectatorate. A noted New York club is said to have sold the results of a match. Barked chins and broken fingers may be easily mended, but a disfigured reputation may never be entirely repaired. Once more, abandon the bat, boys, if you cannot keep the game pure.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Adrian's will stay in to play shortstop as the Braves, battered and bruised, tied at 3 apiece, trying to get this last game of the homestand, sweep the Reds, and then it's off to Kansas City. Our next broadcast will be Friday night, 8:10 first pitch in Kansas City to face the Royals. Saturday afternoon, 4:10 first pitch is the first delivery. Here in the top of the 4th is a swing and a miss strike, top of the zone to Barrero from Strider. It's 0-1.
And if you're a Reds fan after this, you got a 7-game homestand coming up.
The 0-1 pitch misses high and out of the zone. And right after tonight, 4-game series at home against the Phillies. The 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss, and it's 1-2.
Tough stretch for the Reds, 4 against Philly, 3 against the blistering Rays, but all of them home games, and we'll see what they can do with Philly and if they can help out Atlanta here early.
Barrero, the 1-2 pitch, swung on it. That ball is hammered down the left field line, but plenty foul. We'll do it again at 1-2.
At this point, Strider over the 80 pitch mark. You're hoping, really just hoping he makes it through this 4th, probably his last inning unless it's really efficient.
One-two pitch on the way from Strider is misses high and inside. Slider misses top shelf. It's 2-2.
Slider from Strider, a little off there, but Barrero strikeout prone. Let's see if he could get him here.
The 2-2 pitch, swing, and fouls it down the line. Once again at 2-2.
Barrero, a big figure, towering over the umpire and catcher.
Two pitch on the way, swung on and hit high and not very deep. Acuna's on the charge. He'll make the catch, and there's one away. Good defensive play by Acuna.
And that's why you love speed in the outfield. Acuna makes it look like a piece of cake right there. Like to see that if you're Spencer Strider.
So Strider now at 85 pitches. Righty-righty matchup is Luke Mail. Hind catcher comes to the plate, and the first pitch is a swing and a miss. Slider in the dirt. It's 0-1.
Looks like the next time these teams play will be in the heart of summer, coming June 23rd weekend in Cincinnati.
The 0-1 pitch from Strider. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Slider off the plate, and Strider's quickly ahead 0-2.
And Strider here looking to make quick work like he did last time the bottom of the order came up.
The 0-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Slider from Strider, and there's 2 away.
And in this bottom of the order, we've seen it last time with these 3. A lot of swing and strike potential. A lot of strikeout potential. Strider's now struck out 4 of the last 5, 7, 8, 9 hitters on this Reds club.
So that'll bring up left-handed bat of Benson. The first pitch is a fastball, swing and a miss. Top shelf, it's 0-1.
Benson down from 56 to 53 on the year after starting this one 0-1.
The 0-1 pitch swung on and fouled down the line. 98 mile an hour outer edge. It's 0-2.
Really, here, if you're Strider now, you could do whatever you want here. Up to 0-2 in the count. You got a plethora of pitches to go get him.
The 0-2 from Strider as he waves back and forth, bouncing, getting the sign from Murphy. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Fastball right there at the knees. He got caught watching the paint dry, and that'll end the inning. So 3 up, 3 down. Ozuna, Hilliard, and Acuna come to the plate when we come back.
Bo Body. What does the first B stand for?
What are we doing?
We're making acronyms. Okay, what does the first B stand for? Business. I like it.
We need a new manager.
Here are some baseball facts you might not have known, Part 18. Kirk Gibson walking off Game 1 of the 1988 World Series is one of the most iconic home runs of all time. Despite how famous the play is, nobody knows where the home run ball itself is located. The bat, helmet, and jersey from that moment are all accounted for, but the ball has seemingly disappeared. Camden Yards is where the Baltimore Orioles play their home games. The ballpark was actually built very close to where Babe Ruth was born. In fact, Ruth's father allegedly owned a pub exactly where center field is today. Kevin Youkilis is known for having a very interesting batting stance. He's also known for working a lot of walks and having a great mindset at the plate. Over his 10-year career, he had 297 plate appearances that went to a 3-0 count, and every single time he didn't swing the bat.
Armchair.
New York Giants second baseman John Montgomery Ward was a rarity among players, a graduate of the Columbia Law School. And in an age when workers everywhere were struggling to win their rights, he was willing to take on the club owners on their own terms. Ward publicly denounced the reserve clause, which now kept every player from deciding for himself where he wished to play, and forced him to accept whatever wage his owner was willing to pay.
There is now no escape for the player. If he attempts to elude the operation of the rule, he becomes at once a professional outlaw, and the hand of every club is against him. Like a fugitive slave law, the reserve clause denies him a harbor or a livelihood, and carries him back bound and shackled to the club from which he attempted to escape. We have, then, the curious result of a contract which on its face is for 7 months, being binding for life. John Montgomery Ward.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. The first pitch on the way to Marcell Ozuna is off the plate wide for a ball. It's 1-0.
Ozuna and Benson are having a who can bat lower by the end of the series off, as Ozuna is now down to 91.
The 1-0 down below the knees outside the zone. It's 2-0. Quickly
Green light.
Work is green. The 2-0 pitch. Fastball right there on the outer edge. 99 mile an hour on the outer edge. It's 2-1.
Would have seen a guy like Ozuna try and rip into that one.
The 2-1 pitch. Swung on and fouls it, pops it up. Will it stay in play? Looks like it will. Chasing it over just about 3 rows back. Gets out of play. Thankfully, it's 2-2.
And Ozuna barely getting out of play there. Barely, but hey, he gets another rebirth at the plate. We'll see if he could make do with another opportunity as the big man's looking to get over the 100 mark.
Braves 3, Reds 3, bottom of the 4th. A 2-2 pitch to Marcell Ozuna on the way. Swung on. That ball is cue shot over towards second. India's got it, grabs it, flips it over to first, and it's a 4-3 put out. 1 away.
Indy is a pretty nimble guy on his feet in the infield there. Reds have a pretty good ball player in Jonathan India. I'm a big fan.
2021 Rookie of the Year. Had a bit of a down year last year, but looks like he is bouncing back from the sophomore slump. So Hilliard comes to the plate. Righty-lefty matchup. First pitch is a 99-mile-an-hour fastball off the edge wide. It's 1-0.
Looks like Green is trying to find some rhythm. If these guys could only face the bottoms of the order every time, it'd be a quick one.
The 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Slider got him. Strike 1. Slider got him. It's 1-1.
Hilliard here looking to get on base. Had a strikeout his last time at the plate.
The 1-1. Down below the knees. Good eye. It's 2-1.
Good eyes there. And Hilliard looking to build on his good start to the season, batting .350 in the early going.
The 2-1 delivery from Green, way outside wide, slider misses, and it's 3-1.
Big at bat here, because if you get on, then you get the top of the order up and a great opportunity for guys like Acuna. So Hilliard has to dig deep and get on base.
The 3-1 pitch, swing, and fouls it straight up. Will it stay in play just in foul territory, making the catches Mail, and it's a pop out for Hilliard and 2 away.
And that thing hit 100 on the radar gun. Hunter Green absolutely pumping in heat. Not much you could do there if you're Hilliard with that type of fastball in that sort of place. And the result shows as a pop out to the catcher.
Hunter Green now at 68 pitches. First pitch on the way to Acuna is a fastball on the outer edge called for a strike, triple digits. It's 0-1.
Seems as if he's trying to find rhythm a little bit back-to-back good 100-mile-an-hour pitches here. We'll see what Acuna could do, 2 for 2.
The 0-1 to Acuna. Fastball, outer edge, called for a strike. It's 0-2.
And if you want anyone up with 2 strikes, it's probably this man right here. Acuna could dig deep and still find his way on.
2 for 2, a double, a single, 2 RBI, stolen base. The 0-2 pitch misses outside wide. It's 1-2.
This series hitting a robust 6 for 10. 365 on the year.
The 1-2 to Acuna on the way in the dirt. Good eye by Ronnie, and it's 1-2.
Hunter Green's going to have to earn this one if he wants a strikeout here. Not an easy one to put down.
The 2-2 from Green on the way. Fastball outside wide, 102 miles an hour, but well out of the zone. It's full count.
Throwing it harder and harder, but the harder they come, the more wild at times. We've seen that one almost miss the batter's box there.
The 3-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him with the slider down below the knees, and that'll end the inning. So 3 up, 3 down. We head to the top of the 5th. It's tied up in Atlanta.
That's right.
Hi, sir. I would like to look at your most expensive Hank Aaron card, please.
Just the one. Only 4 in circulation. $31,000.
Oh, well, that's very, very fine. Yeah. Let me look at your least expensive Hank Aaron card, please.
Here are some baseball facts that you might not have known. Stan Musial is one of the most underrated players of all time. He had 3,630 hits, which puts him 4th on the all-time list. But weirdly enough, Stan the Man had exactly 1,815 hits at home and exactly 1,815 hits on the road.
At Jewelers Mutual, we're a little obsessed with jewelry. Obsessed like auctioneers with talking fast.
50, we're going to hit
pop stars with auto-tune.
Yeah.
And dentists with asking questions.
So, how did he propose?
After they put their hands in your mouth.
Great.
Yes, we've made jewelry our obsession for over 100 years. We love it so much, we named our kids Ruby, Amber, and Opal.
Venti soy latte for Opal?
At Jewelers Mutual, we insure jewelry and only jewelry, which is why people who are also obsessed with jewelry trust us with theirs.
You get a whole lot of something with Farmers Policy Perks. So much, I'm going to have to speed things up. You can get the Farmers Signal app, and that could get you up to 15% off your auto policy. That's just for using the app and driving like the normal speed limit, hearing, full stop, making lane change, signaling human being you are. Get a whole lot of something with Farmers Policy Perks. Start with a quote by calling 1-800-FARMERS.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Although the first World Series had been a huge success, the reputation of the game continued to suffer as brawling fans drove away paying customers. Now, Van Johnson ordered his American League owners to have their stadiums patrolled to keep rowdiness down. Players and managers, as well as fans, were expected to behave.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. First pitch on the way from Strider is a fastball pumped across the plate for a strike. It's 0-1.
Strider looking to make quick work here to stay in this one.
The 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss, slider down below the knees. It's 0-2. Braves Country Baseball coming to you 4 times a week this year. Tampa Tones joining us for tonight's action. The 0-2 pitch inside misses. It's 1-2.
Not a bad off waist pitch there. Strider eclipses the 90 pitch mark on the evening.
Spencer Strider kicks and deals. Fastball swung on and hit high. Not very deep playable. Hilliard will roam over there and make the catch in right center. and there's one away.
I think if you're a Braves fan, you're pretty happy here if you're able to get 5 innings out of Strider. He started throwing a lot of pitches. In the 3rd inning, they were warming up the pen. He's having the dogs back off these last couple half innings.
I can tell you this is the next step in his maturation. Is the first pitch on the way to Friedel is hot. Now it's going to be called for a strike inside. Top shelf, it's 0-1. The stuff has always been there for Strider, but he does waste a lot of pitches to get where he needs to go. The 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Fastball, chase it out of the zone. It's 0-2.
He's a stuff guy, and sometimes those stuff guys, hard for them to find the zone consistently when they're younger, something he'll grow into as the game goes on and as the years go by.
The 0-2 pitch from Strider, as he rocks back and forth, waits for Friedel to get back in the box. The 0-2 pitch, fastball, caught looking, strike 3. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Sit down. Strider says, hey, I'm going out with the bang here if this is my last inning pitch. Beautiful there. Not much you could do as a batter. That thing tails off the plate, obviously on the plate as it crosses the plate, but by the time the batter looks at the umpire, nothing he could do.
He went 96 in, 97 up and out, and 96 on the black. The first pitch on the way to Fraley is a fastball pumped right down the pipe on the outer cut. It's 0-1.
He found himself here, McGee. He has found himself.
Fraley, 4 for 8 in the series. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Took a little bit off that, pulled the string, and he was way out in front.
And that thing was way outside. Great movement there by Strider. Absolutely fooled Fraley. Was going to say, looked like we've seen that before, but then he got called back to the plate.
Exactly. The 0-2 pitch on the way to Fraley. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He hits triple digits. That might be his last pitch. And if it is, it was a dandy. 3 up, 3 down. Olsen, Riley, Murphy, they're heading to the dish.
Let's ride.
Of the service, what is your opinion of war protesters, and would you today refuse to be drafted?
Honey, I just seem to keep my own personal views about that to myself because I'm just an entertainer and I'd really not say.
Do you think other entertainers should keep their views to themselves too?
No, I can't even say that.
Here are some baseball facts that you might not have known. Clayton Kershaw is without a doubt a Hall of Famer. In Kershaw's family, he had a great uncle named Clyde Tombaugh. He was an astronomer who, over 100 years ago, discovered the planet Pluto. For those who don't know, eye black is a black adhesive that is used by players to limit glare from the sun. But did you know that none other than Babe Ruth allegedly invented it? Around the 1930s, Ruth was getting distracted by the sun, so he put some black grease under his eyes, and the rest is history.
John Joseph McGraw, player-manager of the contentious Baltimore Orioles, had been one of the first National Leaguers to jump to the American League in 1901, but he had not liked it there. He could not bear to have anyone tell him how to play the game. When McGraw refused to stop the constant abuse of umpires, for which he was infamous, Johnson suspended him. McGraw never forgave Johnson. He returned to the National League as manager of the New York Giants, a job he would hold for 31 years, leading his team to 10 pennants and ending in the first division 28 times. No one made a move on the field without his consent. McGraw was said once to have fined a player for hitting a home run that drove in 2 runs because he had ordered him to bunt. The main idea, John McGraw said, is to win. When McGraw won the National League pennant in 1904, he took an especially sweet revenge on Ban Johnson. Rather than have anything to do with the league that had suspended him, he simply refused to play the Boston Pilgrims for the championship. There was no World Series in 1904.
Welcome back here to Braves Country Baseball. The first pitch is called for a strike on the inner part of the plate. Up top, it's 0-1.
Great.
Matt Olson digs in the 0-1 pitch. Down below the knees, called for a ball. It's 1-1. About that time for turn back time here on Braves Country Baseball as we try to fit this in. On this date, 1909, is the 1-1 pitch is in the dirt. Ball 2, 2-1. The 61-year history of Shibe Park begins with the Philadelphia A's defeating the Red Sox 8-1. The Philadelphia Stadium renamed to honor Connie Mack in 1953 as the 2-1 pitch is swung on and fouled back. 100 miles an hour on the outer edge, 1-2. Shibe Park was the first concrete and steel ballpark in Major League history, and that's on this date in 1909. Looks like Strider's probably done as he's getting high fives in the dugout. The 2-2 to Olson on the way, swinging a miss, strike three, 101 mile an hour, Tones.
That is cheese right there by Hunter Green. Him and Strider have been kind of doing a little, hey, who can do it better the last couple of innings?
And Green is only at 79 pitches. That'll bring Austin Riley to the plate. First pitch to Riley is a slider right there on the outer edge for a strike. It's 0-1. On this date, 1965, Joe Torre hits 2 home runs in Milwaukee as the 0-1 pitch is on the way, swing and fouls it straight back 100 miles an hour. It's 0-2. Hits 2 home runs in Milwaukee for the Milwaukee Braves on opening day. Victory. Crosley Field in Cincinnati, The 0-2 pitch just off the plate wide. It's 1-2. His 2 home runs for the Milwaukee Braves in Cincinnati at Crosley Field. The next season on the same date, the Braves catcher will do it again, joining teammate Eddie Matthews as the only major leaguer to hit 2 home runs as the 1-2 pitch is swung on and fouled back. Twice in games played on opening day. It's a pretty cool little fact there.
Yes, it is.
On this date, 1965, is the 1-2 pitch on the way, swung on and grounded over towards third base. It's going to get down the line, just past the glove of Vossler, and Riley rounds first and heads to second. It's a 1-out double. Nicely placed hit by Austin Riley.
And Will Benson gets it back in, but not before Riley gets a double out of that. Great job there by Riley, just taking that ball, poking it down the line and stretching a double out of that. Not much you could do there if you're the Reds unless you're literally hovering on the line. Riley knows where to put him. Great job there.
So that'll bring Murphy to the plate, 1 on, 1 out. The first pitch on the way is a slider right there at the knees on the intercut. It's 0-1. On this date, 1965, in the Astrodome, the Houston Astros lose the first regular season indoor game to the Phillies 2-0. The 0-1 pitch right there for a strike, and it's 0-2. Houston third baseman Bob Esprante, who collected the first Houston hit in Colt Stadium in 1962, also gets the first hit in the Astrodome. The 0-2 pitch, swing and fouls it straight back off the mask of mail. He's getting a chuckle out of it with Murphy. I'm sure Murphy's like, yeah, been there, done that. Do it again at 0-2.
Yeah, they're looking at each other having a good convo about it.
So hitting the first home run in Colt Stadium back when Houston was called the Colt 45s and getting the first in the Astrodome as the 0-2 pitch is just off the plate. Did he go around? They're going to say he did. I don't know about that one. Murphy's not going to argue and head back to the bench. Dick Allen of the Phillies blasts the first National League homer in the 8th wonder of the world, as it was called. That was in 1965 on this date.
Good stuff.
The first pitch on the way to Rosario is inside for a ball, 1-0, 101 on the gun. And one more on this date in 1986 in a humiliating 9-8 extra inning loss against the Phillies as the 1-0 pitch is on the way outside wide. It's 2-0. The Mets blow a 3-run lead in the bottom of the 9th, thanks to Keith Hernandez's error, allowing the leadoff hitter to reach base, opening the floodgates in the Philly comeback. 6 years later, you Seinfeld fans, the miscue becomes legend on a conspiracy theory detailed, and the 2-0 pitch is swung on and popped up high into right field underneath it. Making the catch is Fraley, and that'll end the inning. So the Braves threaten and fail to score to finish up that turn back time. For you Seinfeld fans, that is the famous game where 6 years later, the miscue becomes the background of a conspiracy theory detailed in an hour-long Seinfeld episode. It's the famous one where they're talking about the magic loogie, if you remember that in Seinfeld history. And that was on this date in 1986. We're going to take a real quick break. When we come back, we're going to hit you with the scoreboard. We'll be back in about 30 seconds here on Braves Country HD. You're listening to Braves Country Baseball. Braves Country Today. We're talking Southern sports. We go live 3 to 5 weekdays right here on WQEE. Braves Country Today, Southern sports talk with the voice of Braves Country Baseball, Mac Magee. Joined every day from sports analysts from all over Braves Country, talking college football, the NFL, Major League Baseball, and what's trending in the world of sports. Braves Country Today. We go live 3 to 5 weekdays right here on WQEE. Welcome back here to Braves Country Baseball. Going to go ahead and hit that scoreboard with you, Tones, as the A's and Orioles are now tied up 4 to 4. That game is in the 8th. Rays and Red Sox, we might have some news here. The Rays are on the ropes, only up by 1 over the Boston Red Sox in the 7th. It's 8 to 7 as the Rays are 11-0 to start the season. Tigers 3 to 1 over the Blue Jays in the 8th. Kansas City leads the Rangers 4 to 1 in the 3rd. Dodgers and Giants have yet to get going earlier today. Mariners over the Cubs, Cards over the Rockies. The Diamondbacks beat the Brewers. The Angels over the Nats, along with the Mets winning and the Phillies losing to the Marlins. That's your scoreboard. So far, we've had a pretty good battle. And looks like Spencer Strider is done for the night, and Lucas Luetge is going to come out of the pen, the left-hander coming over from the New York Yankees in the offseason.
Stevenson making his way to the plate.
Lefty-righty matchup. Luetge flips the first one in there for a strike. Cutter at the knees. It's 0-1.
Stevenson 1 for 2 on the day. Had that 2 RBI single earlier on.
The 0-1 pitch right there at the knees. Good curveball. Nice snap to that one. 0-2.
Now you have a couple pitches to play around with if you're Luetge. So good job getting ahead of the count here early.
The 0-2 pitch. Curveball just below the knees. Good eye by Stevenson. Surprised he was able to take that one. 1-2.
He has that lefty pitcher's arch to him. It's a nice form, really. Struggle early on, but
1-2 pitch inside. Cutter misses just off the dish. 2-2.
On the season has an ERA north of 9. Let's see if he can help lower that here by getting Stevenson on a 2-2.
Braves 3, Reds 3. The 2-2 pitch, curveball well inside. Full count now. Once up 0-2. Now it's 3-2.
And this is where you don't want to find yourself to a man like Tyler Stevenson at the plate. Can do a couple of things.
The 3-2 swing and hammers it down the line, but plenty foul into the Reds dugout towards the camera well. It's 3-2.
And here is he looks to continue battling. Luetge is just looking for his first out of the inning to make things smoother.
3-2 pitch on the way. Right there at the knees. Called strike 3. Stevenson does not like it. He's jawing it with home plate umpire Marvin Hudson. I think if Stevenson's behind the plate, he doesn't say anything, but since he's the designated hitter tonight, he decided to let it fly.
Yeah, he said, I can get away with this one since I'm the DH. It did look a little in, but the Braves have been getting their fair share of bad calls tonight. So about time the boys at home get one. Good job there by Luetge getting the first out of the inning. The hardest one, battling from 0-2, and Matt Olson running around with a new glove, or maybe he had to get some sunflower seeds as he's shoveling into his mouth. But good at bat there by Luetge.
Yeah, I would say that one was iffy at best, but it might be too close to take on 2 strikes. The first pitch on the way from Lutke is a taken ball from Will Myers below the knees, lefty-righty matchup, excuse me. It's 1-0. The 1-0 swung on and roped down the left field line, but foul over the tarp. It's 1-1.
Definitely a little close for comfort on a 2-strike count, especially as a catcher and you're Stevenson. Normally, you know how tight of a zone it is. So you got to shore up a little bit there and let it rip.
Welcome into Braves Country Baseball. Please like and subscribe today. The 1-1 pitch swung on and grounded over to Riley. Riley's got it, scoops it, flips it, the vacuum, flips it over to first. It's a 5-3 put out, and there's 2 away.
Will Myers is retired there as he's been struggling to get going this game. Nice play there by the third baseman, Riley.
Yeah, he's not what he used to be, but I'll tell you what, if the Reds want to make a trade, I'll give them Ozuna for Myers straight up right now. They probably make about the same amount of money.
Yeah, Myers better
new scenery.
Huh?
Just let Ozuna get on the plane and let Myers stay there in Atlanta. First pitch on the way from Lutke to Vassar, lefty-lefty matchup, and the first pitch is inside for a ball. It's 1-0.
Lutke is pitching with speed here.
1-0 pitch swung on and grounded over to second. Backhanded by Ozzie. 4-3 put out, and we'll take a break. Braves will grab the bats. It's Albies, Adrianza, and Ozuna coming to the plate.
If you don't like your job, you don't strike. You just go in every day and do it really half-assed. That's the American way.
Hey, Braves fans, I'm Mac Magee with Braves Country. We'll be right here on the key all year long giving you Braves Country Baseball, pitch by pitch, inning by inning of your Atlanta Braves. Make sure to catch Braves Country right here on the key. We go live 3 to 5, and we'll keep you up to date on the upcoming schedule for Braves Country. That's Braves Country HD and Braves Country Baseball right here on the key. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. The Atlanta Braves and Cincinnati Reds are tied up at 3 apiece. We are heading to the bottom of the 6th. And we've had pretty entertaining games so far, Tones.
We sure have. It's been a good battle here. We expected this one with guys like Strider and Green on the bump.
Give you an update on the NBA.
Please don't.
Are you avoiding the score?
Will that make the score change?
Toronto leads Chicago 81-72. They're just heading towards the fourth quarter, so still a lot of time left in that one. Ozzie Albies opens up, and the first pitch on the way to Ozzie. Did he go around? He did not. Ball in the dirt, and we got Green back there out on the bump. It's 1-0.
Let's see if the Braves can get to Green here as he's nearing the 100-pitch mark.
The 1-0 swung on, and that ball is rifled towards right field, but on the fly, making a nice grab is Fraley. There's one away.
Thing was put on a rope, but Fraley is able to track that one down. Looks like he might have got a bug in his eye or something. Fraley moving a little bit slow after that catch, but nonetheless, good job there by Fraley to track that one down. That thing was hit pretty well.
Too bad he didn't get that bug in his eye right before the ball was hit to him. First pitch on the way to Adrianza is down below the knees for a ball, 98 miles an hour still. 1-0.
Now that I think of it, have you ever seen a bug in the eye gaff before, like mid-play?
Not that I'm aware of. The 1-0 pitch is swung on and fouled down line, 1-1. I'm sure there's been instances where guys have had issues like that and just fought through it, and we probably don't notice it. But surely, I mean, if we have a ball kill a seagull, I would surely think there'd be a bug in the eye. The 1-1 pitch swung on and fouled out of play. It's 1-2.
Yeah, and the seagull thing, Randy Johnson, big unit, but the bugs. I forget the ballparks, but we have seen some ballparks absolutely swarmed with bugs before as well.
Cleveland and the Yankees in the playoffs about 15 years ago comes to mind. The 1-2 pitch, fastball right down Main Street, and Adrianza just holds the bat there for strike number 2.
Yeah, and I think that bodes well as in Cleveland did the same thing a couple years back, I want to say. But yes, the one that far back is the most notable one that comes to mind.
I believe it was Jabba Chamberlain on the mound for the Yankees that night. It may not be 15 years ago, but it's definitely been over a decade. First pitch on the way to Ozuna is called for a strike. They're just above the knees. Slider, outer edge, it's 0-1. The 0-1 swung on and fouled back the 99-mile-an-hour fastball. It's 0-2. Orioles just coughed up 3 runs. They trail 7-4, heading to, I believe, the bottom of the 8th in that one.
Competitive game with Oakland.
The 0-2 pitch swung on and fouled back out of play. Do it again at 0-2.
Ozuna 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out on the day.
Ozuna now batting 088. How much longer do they put up with that in the lineup? The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3, just flailing at air, and that'll end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. We head to the 7th. Braves and Reds tied at 3.
Let's ride.
You want to run tonight, son, or you want to act like a rabbit? You want to run or you want to duck down? If you want to duck, just go over there and get under the bench and stay there.
Big news in the big games covered in the Big Ten all year long.
3rd down and about 22. As Smith drops the throw, he's got his tight end open, but he's got Carter downfield, and he's gone. Michigan leads the game with a first touchdown on a bullet, a bomb to Carter, 71 yards. Now State's lead 7-3. There he goes. So long. Ohio State touchdown. That's that old 1-2 punch. You take 2 of the first time and then have it the second time.
In his career, Lorenzo White 15 times rushed for 100 yards in a half. 5 of those this season. On 2nd and 10.
Long throw to Ryson, and he's open. All the way to the 6-yard line.
Big Ten football covered in the Southeast.
After a spectacular early season in 1877, the Louisville Grays of the new National League mysteriously lost 7 games in a row. Players bobbled the ball, seemed to slow between bases, swung suspiciously wide. The Grays lost the pennant. Afterwards, some were seen wearing fancy clothes and diamond stick pins. An investigation revealed that gamblers had bought off 4 players, including one of the National League's greatest pitchers, the popular Jim Devlin. When confronted with the evidence, Devlin confessed.
Was introduced to a man named McLeod, who said when I wanted to make a little money to let him know was to use the word sash in telegraphing, and he would know what was meant. We made a contract to throw a game in Indianapolis, received $100 from McLeod for it, and gave it to my wife.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. Luke Gay is back out there on the mound. Lefty-righty matchup as he faces the bottom of the order of the Reds and flips the first pitch in there for a strike at the top of the zone. It's 0-1.
Top of the zone indeed, but they all count the same.
The 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Nice curveball there on the inner cut. Inside, 0-2.
Barrero going for the out cycle, strikeout and fly out so far.
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. He went waving at that curveball that was on the outer edge of the plate and never could quite get there, and there's one away.
Second strikeout on the night for Barrero. Luque with some good movement there on that one. Nice off speed pitch, able to get the swing and strikeout.
So that'll bring up Mail to the plate. Right-handed hind catcher. Lefty-righty matchup. The first pitch on the way is missing inside cutter. 86 miles an hour. It's 1-0.
He's going to look to do something for the first time tonight. 2 strikeouts so far.
The 1-0 pitch inside, 2-0, almost clips him.
I think the bottom of the order, 7, 8, 9 for Cincinnati, has a combined 5 or 6 strikeouts at this point.
The 2-0 pitch, right there, top shelf, called for a strike over the dish. It's 2-1.
Really, to a guy like Luke Mail, you just got to throw strikes in there. Third string catcher, he's just a depth body for defense.
The 2-1 pitch swung on, and that ball is hammered into left field. It's going to get down for a 1-out single.
I think I just jinxed him.
And the Reds have something brewing here. The tie game in the top of the 7th.
Exit velocity 74.5 on that one, and he just flails it into left, finds a hole where nobody is, and finds himself on base. And Benson will find himself coming to the plate. It would be a nice time here for the Braves to get a double play ball.
Benson being lifted for Fairchild in a pinch hitting move. Fairchild will most likely stay in to play the outfield.
Makes sense, as Benson was 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, batting under 55 on the season.
So the Reds will take the lefty out and put the righty in. Braves will stick with Lutke. The first pitch on the way is swung on and fouled back out of play. Cutter top shelf inside. It's 0-1.
Stuart Fairchild batting .273 on the season with a handful of ribbies and a homer.
Stuart Fairchild, drafted in the 2017 draft, 2nd round. He's out of Seattle, Washington from Wake Forest. The 0-1 pitch in the dirt. Good block by Murphy. It's 1-1.
Murphy really showing his defense tonight. Really nice job.
Braves 3, Reds 3, top of the 7th inning. Braves trying to sweep Cincinnati. Stay 2 in front of the Mets. The 1-1 pitch down below the knees. Did he go around? No, he did not. First base umpire Wendelstedt said that he held up. It's
nice,
2-1.
Nice by Fairchild to hold up there really and get the count to 2-1. If you go around there, you're facing 1 and 2 in the eyes.
The 2-1 pitch swung on and banged foul just past the third base line. Riley came up ready to gun it to second for a double play, but plenty foul. There's 2 strikes, a 2-2 count on Fairchild.
Riley's been ready to roll at the hot corner tonight. Not much is getting past him. He looks really prime over there of late.
So a 2-2 count, 1 on, 1 out. Here's the windup in the pitch inside, almost clips him. Now you got a full count to Fairchild with a runner on first and 1 away.
Got to go get him here. And the pen looks like it's warming with Yates warming up.
Kirby Yates, the right-hander, getting loose. With righties on deck, the 3-2 pitch swung on and fouled back. Do it again.
Let's just do it again.
Full count. In a tight ball game here in Atlanta. The 3-2 pitch. Down below the knees, ball 4. Close one, but looks like he just missed the zone, and there's runners on first and second and just 1 away.
A nice at-bat off the bench there from Stuart Fairchild, as he's been cold all game sitting around, and he comes in and drives a walk. So a nice job there by the right fielder to get on base, the pinch hitter, and bring up Jonathan India.
So India comes to the plate, and looks like Snicker's going to roll with Lutke. First pitch on the way is in the dirt. Gets away from Murphy, but the runners stay where they're at, and it's 1-0.
Lutke, to me, looks like he's really starting to labor out there. You have to wonder, this has to be probably his last batter, barring something significant.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised that the only thing I can think of here is the 1-0 pitch is on the way right there for a strike. May a touch inside. India didn't like it, but they'll call it for a wide strike inside, and it's 1-1. The only thing I can think of is you do have lefties on deck, so trying to get him to labor through. The 1-1 pitch, top shelf, outer edge. That one was in the zone. It's 1-2.
Battling here, and Luke Gay is looking to get himself out of a jam here in a tie ball game, and Braves country is roaring behind him here.
The 1-2 pitch from Luke Gay in the dirt. Good block by Murphy. Runners stay at first and second. It's 2-2.
He blocks better than the defender Sean Murphy Bunton does in the NFL. Murphy doing a nice job of getting dirty tonight.
Game tied at 3 apiece. Top of the 7th. First and second, 1 away. The 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Big strikeout by Luke, and there's 2 away.
Big time strikeout there. We'll see if he gets one more after the big time strikeout, or if we want a fresh Kirby Yates in there. I should say if Snicker wants a fresh Kirby Yates. But nonetheless, Luke, incredible battle there with India.
Looks like he's going to stick with the lefty-lefty matchup as Friedel comes to the plate batting .333. The first pitch on the way is a sweeper off the edge, and it's 1-0.
Off the edge there, not by much, but just a little too much movement in the disappearing hours on that one.
The 1-0 from Luke Gay. On the way, swing and a miss. Strike 1. Very similar pitch. This time he took the bait. It's 1-1.
Took the bait like a fish in a hook.
Runners on first and second, 2 away. The 1-1 swung on, and that ball is rifled up the middle. It's going to get down for a base hit. Hilliard's charging, but the run's going to come around to score, and it is 4-3 Cincinnati, as Hilliard was playing pretty deep in the outfield.
And walks will kill you, and Molly gets on, and he gets over, and then he gets in. And a good job of hitting there by the number 2 hitter. He just pokes it over the shortstop's head, gets it into center field. Not the fastest speed on the bases, but since it was that good of a poke, it easily gets a run in.
Strangest thing about that one, though, that I'm seeing is that Friedel has shown that he's more of a punch and Judy hitter, and Hilliard was playing almost on the warning track. First pitch on the way to Fraley is swung on and hit deep down the right field line. If that's fair, it's trouble. It is foul. Thankfully, just bends out of play. It's 0-1.
And rewinding back to last play, I agree with you, because if the third string catcher, Molly, is able to get in standing, you know that the outfielder is probably playing a little too far back if that one fell in.
So runners on the corners, an 0-1 count. This would definitely be Luke Gay's last batter. And a curveball right there for a strike at the knees. It's 0-2.
He's fighting, and at this point, I'm sure he'd like to finish off this battle. 1 run is in, but he could go down with a decent outing still if he gets out of it here.
0-2 pitch from Luke Gay. On the way, swung on and rolled over towards first. Olson's got it, steps on the pillow, and that they end the inning. So the Reds add a run. The Braves trail by 1. Get up and stretch. It's the 7th inning.
All right. I can't see you. Let me hear you. 1, 2, 3.
Casey was baseball mad, had the fever and had it bad. Just to root for the hometown through every stew. Casey Blue. On a Saturday, her young beau called to see if she'd like to go to see a show. But Miss Kate said no. I'll tell you what you can do.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back. Let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3, stretch around and be home all game.
Casey saw all the game. To the players by their first name. Told the umpire he was wrong all along. Good and strong. When the score was just 2-2, Casey knew what to do. Just to cheer up the boys he knew, he made the gang sing this song. Take me out to the ball game. Me out with the crowd. I don't care if I never get back.
Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. The Atlanta Braves trail by 1. Pitching change. Ian Giebolt comes into the pitch for the Cincinnati Reds. The first pitch misses out of the zone for a ball high up top. It's 1-0.
Giebolt with interesting, nice little pitch selection.
1-0 misses down below. It's 2-0. Big right-hander kicks and deals the 2-0 off the plate wide, 3-0. Ian Giebolt, 29 years old, 6'3", 250-pound right-hander out of Houston, Texas. Drafted by the Tampa Bay Rays in 2015, the 3-0 right there on the edge for a strike. It's 3-1.
Throws a fastball, a cutter, a slider, and a changeup.
4 innings this year. The 1.93 ERA, the 3-1 inside ball 4, and Sam Hilliard works himself a leadoff walk to get things going. Giebolt out of Tulane University.
Giebolt throws a fastball 44% of the time, followed by the cutter of 23, slider just under that 22%. Then the changeup obviously drops down to 11. So pretty good arsenal there for Giebolt.
So that'll bring Ronald Acuna Jr. to the plate. Acuna 2 for 3, and the time called by Mail. Hindcatcher runs out there to have a quick powwow with his right-hander.
Man, I think this lid in Toronto is about to blow off. The Bulls and Raptors are now exchanging blows. Bulls just took the lead by 2.
Cincinnati 4, Braves 3. Bottom of the 7th, first pitch on the way, and a fastball misses out of the zone. It's 1-0.
Let's go. Acuna could come up with a big-time hit here with the man on first, down by 1 in this ball game. Plenty of time left, but Acuna is always a dangerous at-bat.
Infield playing Acuna to pull with the first baseman holding the runner, so there's a big gap in between first and second. The 1-0. Outside, wide ball 2-0. Here comes the pitching coach for Cincinnati.
Making a stern march to the mound. Nothing like the Braves' lovely pitching coach does, but Giebolt here just a little wild early on, finds himself, they probably telling him, hey, it ain't going to get easier after Acuna, so you got nowhere to put him, and we got to keep this lead, so just do your best to let the defense try and help you out and get out of this one. If you let Acuna on, who got a 2 RBI single in the first, that also adds speed at first base too, right? So all of a sudden, if you do let up a free pass to Acuna, you got guys on first and second, really good speed at first, and that'd be the go-ahead run. Giebolt wants to do anything but that here.
So Ronald Acuna Jr. digs in, a 2-0 count. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss, and the runner's on his horse. Hilliard steals second. Vroom, vroom. Tying run, standing on second base.
Hilliard looking like former Buccaneer wide receiver Ike Hilliard with his wheels right there. The big bag, love to see it. Helps the runner stay on. Beautiful, beautiful there by number 14.
So here comes, we talked about this in the show this afternoon, Braves Country Today, about the Reds manager. He's out there talking to home plate umpire. And I told him at that time, I'm going to repeat it again, he is just a pain in the ass. He is always just nibbling at the umpire, very Buck Showalter-like. Don't know what that powwow was about, but runner on second, the 2-1 pitch to Acuna swung on. That ball's rifled right in that hole that I mentioned. Here comes Hilliard. Wash is going to send him, and we got us a tie ball game in Hotlanta, Georgia.
Hilliard showing the wheels coming around there to score. Acuna hitting it right where you said, McGee, capitalizing on that gap. And now, if you're Guibault, if you're the Reds, I said earlier in this game, you don't want to let this game come down to the bullpen. What did they do? Let it come down to the bullpen. 1-run lead against Atlanta simply ain't enough. And now you got Ronald Acuna's wheels on first base to take the lead. You're liking your stance as a Braves fan here.
So here's the first pitch on the way to Olson, and it's high and out of the zone. Fastball, 93 miles an hour, 1-0.
Olson stepping in at 0 for 3 today. He's due, so perfect time to make dues worth.
The 1-0 to Olson. Guibault turns and flips it over to first to keep Acuna at bay. We'll do it again at 1-0.
So Guibault uses a move there.
The 1-0 pitch, and Acuna's on into his way, and he is off, and he is out. Good throw by Mail. Acuna doesn't seem to be barking back at the umpire. Snicker does want to take a look at it, but I think that throw beat him. Didn't get a very good jump. And then looked back. I don't know what he's doing looking back. They always tell you, if you're going to run, run. That pitch was up so high, it might as well have been a pitch out. So bases are clear now, and the 1-1 pitch to Olson's inside did not go around. It's 2-1.
Yeah, and the throw was a little dribbler, so it actually benefited the Reds, and it looked like the Reds defender's foot prevented Acuna's hand from ever getting to the bag.
2-1 on the way to Olson. Inside, ball 3-1.
And this ball game is interesting because Hilliard steals a base, gets around to score. They tried the same at Acuna. Game of inches, they barely get him, and now the bases are clear. Olson tries to restart.
3-1 pitch on the way to Olson. Swung on and fouled off the plate and off Olson's instep. Full count now to the ice house.
And Matt Olson has the hardest hit ball this season from last night's home run. He's likely to replicate that at some point this season. We'll see if he does it here tonight. It'd be an incredible spot too.
Standing on deck is Austin Riley. The 3-2 on the way. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Cutter danced in off the plate, and Olson chased it. There's 2 away.
Guibault with some movement there as the ball just keeps fading inside and then eventually tucks away to the point where once you swing, you don't have a return.
So that'll bring Austin Riley to the plate. Riley, 2 for 3 with a single, a double, a run scored. Now batting .340 on the year. First pitch on the way is taken high for a strike. It's 0-1.
Riley, 2 for 3 on the night. 7 ribbies on the year, .340 average, .949 OPS to this point.
The 0-1. Inside. Evens up the count at 1-1. 94 mile an hour fastball.
Guibault with a little giddy up.
The 1-1 pitch off the plate wide, 95 on the outer edge. It's 2-1.
Giebalt looking to make his way into the dugout after blowing the lead here.
The 2-1 pitch. Swung on and hit down the line. Bending foul and just up against the screen before you get to the corner right field. It's 2-2.
And it looks like Riley might have cracked his bat as the man known as the Bat Boy comes running out with the new one, and Riley will pine tar it up a little bit.
Quick update, the Bulls lead by 3 with a little over 3 minutes left in the play-in game.
That's a lot better.
If y'all missed it last night, the Atlanta Hawks punched their ticket into the playoffs, winning on the road. Bulls trying to do the same. The 2-2 pitch. Fastball misses outside, ball 3. Full count to Austin Riley. Murphy stands on deck.
No free passes there for Giebalt.
21st pitch of the inning. He kicks and deals. Inside, top shelf misses. Just missed the zone. And Riley will head down to first with 2 away.
Easy to say in hindsight, but would have been nice if Acuna swiped that bag, especially now, because then he'd have first and second one out, or if he didn't try and attempt that steal. But nonetheless, you do have a chance. You got a guy on, and you got Murphy at the plate, so you're not dead in this inning yet.
So 1 on, 2 away, bottom of the 7th. First pitch to Murphy is a cutter right there at the knees on the outer edge. It's 0-1.
Murphy here looking to make something happen, although down 1 in the count. He's a guy who could hit. As the count gets tougher, so does he.
The 0-1 pitch. As they set up outside. On the way, swing and a miss. It's 0-2.
Got to shore up here a little bit and just try and poke the ball where a fielder is.
Braves 4, Reds 4, bottom of the 7th inning. The 0-2 pitch. On the way, just off the plate wide. Tried to get him to chase that cutter. It's 1-2.
Try to get him to chase there. That's what happens when you get up 0-2. You could afford things like that.
You got a 1-2 count. Go ahead, run on first with 2 away. Austin Riley, good base runner. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Murphy chased it out of the zone, and that'll end the inning. Braves tied it up. It's 4-4, heading to the top of the 8th.
What did you say to your old teammates at the end there when you were standing in front of the bench?
Take their ass home. Long flight to LA. Take y'all ass home.
Here are some baseball facts that you might not have known. How were blue check marks on Twitter partially caused by Baseball Manager? Hall of Famer Tony La Russa, when he was managing the Cardinals in 2009, a La Russa impersonator posted something on Twitter that made Tony pretty mad. The troll tweeted, "Lost 2 out of 3, but we made it out of Chicago without one drunk driving incident or dead pitcher." The tweet referenced La Russa's DUIs, as well as Darryl Kyle and Josh Hancock, who were 2 Cardinals pitchers who had recently died. The tweet was very offensive, and La Russa, who actually has a law degree, ended up suing Twitter. The case was eventually dropped, but as a result, Twitter introduced verification badges to make sure that the accounts with them were genuine.
It all starts with just one thing. Get to know your local beekeeper. You can make sure they don't use chemicals in the hive, that they only sell surplus honey, plus locally produced honeys have a smaller carbon footprint. Find tips and more at onethingus.com. What's your one thing?
In 1900, the Giants had taken a huge risk and traded their greatest pitcher, Amos Russi, for a 19-year-old rookie. Russi had 245 wins behind him, and as it turned out, none ahead of him. The Hoosier Thunderbolt went back to digging ditches in Indiana. The rookie had no major league wins when he joined the team, but he had 373 ahead of him. His name was Christy Mathewson.
Matty was without a peer. He had a greater variety of stuff than any pitcher I ever knew or handled. His fastball was the equal of Walter Johnson or Amos Russi's. He had the fadeaway down to perfection, and he utilized his knowledge of batsmen with greater effect than any twirler in the game. He possessed wonderful control, remarkable fielding ability, and was one of the finest sportsmen the game has ever known.
back to Braves Country Baseball. The Atlanta Braves, Cincinnati Reds tied up, late innings. Sounds familiar. Here comes Kirby Yates. Yates, 7.36 ERA on the young year. The first pitch is a slider down and away. He did go around, says first base umpire Wendelstedt, and it's 0-1.
Yates, a former All-Star Padres closer.
The 0-1 pitch, down below the knees, splitter misses. Evens up the count at 1-1.
Stevenson, the former 2 RBI single on the night, 1 for 3 to this point.
The 1-1 pitch from Yates, just below the knees, splitter misses, 2-1.
Barely does that one miss, just barely does it not nip the bottom of the zone there for Kirby Yates.
The 2-1 pitch from Yates just misses again. It's 3-1. Time for birthdays here on Braves Country Baseball. Happy 37th birthday to ex-Atlanta Brave Brad Brock. Pitched for the Braves in 2018, 3.55 ERA and 552 innings pitched in his career. 3-1 pitch misses inside, ball 4. So a leadoff walk, and those usually come back to haunt you to start the 8th inning. Happy 51st birthday to Paul LaDuca, catcher first baseman for the Dodgers, Mets, and Marlins from 98 to 08. The first pitch on the way to Myers from Yates is called for a strike at the knees. It's 0-1.
Well, I feel old hearing LaDuca's age.
80 home runs in his career. The 0-1 pitch. Righty-righty matchup. He'll kick and deal. Swung on and popped up. Bends out of play over the first base dugout. Second deck, and it's 0-2. Donis Garcia played for the Braves from 2015 to 2017. He turns 38 today with 29 home runs in his career. Most wins of someone born on this date, Vic Willis, a Boston Braves Hall of Famer. 249 wins, born in 1876. Highest WAR as well, 63.2 WAR. The 0-2 pitch swung on and hit high and deep into center field, going back on the track just before the wall. Hilliard will make the catch. And it's a loud out. One away here in the 8th.
All outs count the same. Hilliard does a great job at reverting back to the track, making the catch, coming down with it. Yates does a nice job keeping in the ballpark.
Most home runs born on this date, Mike McFarland, 129 home runs. First pitch on the way to Vossler is inside for a ball. Misses well inside, 1-0.
Vossler with an 0 for so far, 2 strikeouts and a ground out.
Mike McFarland turned 59 years old today. The 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss, fastball, 94-mile-an-hour fastball, pumped high and tight. Strike right there, 1-1.
Kirby bringing it.
Use that more and stop nibbling with the splitter. The 1-1 pitch, fastball. Splitter on the outer edge, out in front. It's 1-2.
Good job there by taking control of the count for Kirby.
Happy 76th birthday to David Letterman. The 1-2 pitch off the plate wide. It's 2-2.
David Letterman. That's a blast from the past.
And if I have to explain to y'all who that is, I don't know what to tell you. Yates flips it back over to first to keep Stevenson close by.
Rays officially moved to 12-0.
Happy 38th birthday to Ted Ginn Jr., wide receiver from Ohio State. The 2-2. In the dirt splitter. Did he go around? No, they're going to say he did not. Third base umpire Ryan Blackney said he held up. We got a full count with one on and one away.
That was really close there. I thought he might have. Blackney disagrees.
Happy 51st birthday to 90210 star Shannon Doherty. Brenda, as she was known. The 3-2 pitch. Down below the knees, and he went around this time. Strike three, and there's two away. Vossler do it.
Yeah, and Vossler, those last couple of pitches was like when your button's jammed on a video game and you can't stop check swinging. It's like, oh my goodness, either keep the bat back or swing full through, brother. They're 0 for 2 in terms of check swings.
Actress Claire Danes turns 44 today. Happy birthday to her. The first pitch on the way to Barrera is swung on and hit high and deep into right field, fading back right before the track. Acuna will make the catch, and that'll end the inning. So the Reds threaten but fail to score. The middle of the order coming up for Atlanta.
Is that the sass we love or the back talk we hate?
Unclear. You know, there's a fine line between quippy and mean. I show her Golden Girls. It's just not sinking in.
Okay.
ACC football covered like no other here on the Armchair Quarterback.
Against the blitz. Touchdown, Florida State. Rock Preston scores the touchdown. And now it's Bowden's decision. And he sends Mowry onto the field right away. Danny Cannell is the holder. Mowry ties it. This game is over. A 31-31 tie. A 31-31 tie.
If you're a fan of the ACC, pull up an armchair. You're home.
Here are some baseball facts that you might not have known. Ted Williams is undoubtedly a top 5 hitter in the history of baseball. When he passed away, parts of his family claimed that he wanted to be put into a state of biostasis through being cryogenically frozen. So, surgeons decapitated Williams, froze his body in a giant cylinder, and froze his head in a steel can. This was done with the hope that one day he could be revived from the dead.
August 3rd, 1903. To the editor, it makes sense to teach a child to play chess. But what is the point of a crazy game like baseball? Here in educated America, adults play baseball. They run after a leather ball like children. I want my boy to grow up to be a mensch, not a wild American runner.
Dear sir, let your boy play baseball and play it well, so long as it does not interfere with his education or get him into bad company. Let us not so raise the children that they should grow up foreigners in their own birthplace. Abraham Kahan, editor.
You're listening to Braves Country Baseball. Please like and subscribe today. Welcome back here to Braves Country Baseball. The Atlanta Braves, Cincinnati Reds all tied up, and Buck Farmer coming on. 4 1/3 innings pitched so far, and the first pitch on the way from Farmer to Rosario is a fastball high and out of the zone. It's 1-0.
The former Tiger, Farmer stays in the Central but changes to the NL.
The 1-0 pitch off the plate, just touched the zone according to home plate umpire Hudson, and it's 1-1.
Barely grazes it.
The 1-1 pitch on the way from Farmer, swung on and fouled down the line. It's 1-2.
Rosario 1 for 3 on the night so far, looking to make it 2 for 4.
Braves 4, Reds 4, bottom of the 8th, looking for some late inning heroics. Here's the 1-2 pitch down below the knees. Good take by Rosario. It's 2-2.
Really nice take by Rosario there. He's a pro's pro in the box still after all these years.
Finish up those birthdays as the 2-2 pitch is on the way. Swung on it, just got a piece of it, stay alive. It's 2-2. Vince Gill turns 66 years old today. And happy 83rd to Herbie Hancock. And that's your birthdays. 2-2 pitch from Farmer, righty-lefty matchup. Here's the pitch swung on and popped up high and deep into right center field, going back on the track at the wall. Zip, boom, bam!
Yeah, boo!
Bam, a ding dong! A solo blast puts the Atlanta Braves on top 5-4. I did not think that ball was going to carry.
And that thing kept carrying and carrying and carrying and carrying and boom, over the wall. What a hit by Rosario. First RBI of the year, first dinger of the year, gives the Braves a go-ahead run in the bottom of the eighth, has that clutch gene. This is why the Braves keep this guy around. Some people ask why. Now you see why. Gives the Braves a late lead.
First pitch on the way to Ozzie Albies is off the plate wide 1-0 as Rosario puts the celebration hat on in the dugout. The 1-0 pitch swung on it, fouled down the line, out of play. It's 1-1.
Baseball's awesome, man. I love this stuff.
Rosario, man of the hour right now as the Braves lead at 5-4. The 1-1 pitch off the plate wide. Ball 2-1. Still nobody out. Ozzie Albies at the plate. On deck, Adrianza. The 2-1. Swing and a miss. Top shelf, it's 2-2.
And remember, earlier on, Arcea would be on deck right now, but he left the game with an apparent wrist injury after being struck by a pitch by Hunter Green.
Ozzie Albies 1 for 3 on the night. Single in the second, a run scored. The 2-2 pitch taken all the way, and he buckled his knees. Strike 3. Don't know what Ozzie was looking for on that one, but he did not expect to pitch right down the heart of the plate. There's one away.
He looked uncomfortable up there on that last pitch.
So that'll bring the left-handed bat of Adrianza up to the plate. Switch hitter swings and fouls off the first pitch. It's 0-1.
Since his time subbing into the game for Arcea, he's 0 for 2 with 2 Ks to this point.
The 0-1 to Adrianza. Up high. Evens up the count at 1-1. Standing on deck is Ozuna. Hilliard in the hole. The 1-1 pitch. Off the plate out of the zone, it's 2-1. Another thing that did, if the Braves some reason have to hit in the 9th inning, it's going to clear Ozuna to get him out of the way. The 2-1 pitch. At your knees, called for a strike, it's 2-2.
He's like that free item they give you at the store now. Just take it at this point, the at-bat from Ozuna. But for real, that is huge.
The 2-2 pitch swung on and grounded over to second base side weakly. It's a dribbler, 4-3 put out. And Adrianza's out again. AJ Minter warming up in the Braves bullpen.
And he's fresh. He is fresh. So you like to see that and hear that as the Braves fan is they now have the lead staring the top of the 9th dead in the eye. While Ozuna's up, you pretty much might as well call it top of the 9th.
Ozuna probably be swinging for the downs. There is a pitch violation.
That was the best at-bat pitch.
Ozuna was called for an automatic strike. I guess he wasn't engaged within the 8 seconds. The first pitch on the way to Ozuna is inside for a ball. It's 1-1.
I was going to say that would have been the best pitch with Ozuna all night, but never mind. It was a hitter violation.
The 1-1 on the way. Down below the knees, ball 2, 2-1.
Ozuna looking to just get on any way he can here and see if Hilliard can do something, barring a pinch hitter.
2-1 delivery. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. It's 2-2.
Ozuna swinging for the downs, like you mentioned.
Braves 5, Reds 4. The 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3, and Ozuna's down on strikes. So that'll end the inning. The Braves head to the top of the ninth with a 1-run lead. Minter enters the game.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Ed's Almost Good Beer. Remember, Ed's Almost Good Beer was brewed in God's country when God wasn't looking.
Braves country today. We're talking Southern sports. We go live 3 to 5 weekdays right here on WQEE. Braves country today. Southern sports talk with the voice of Braves country baseball, Mac Magee. Joined every day from sports analysts from all over Braves country, talking college football, the NFL, Major League Baseball, and what's trending in the world of sports. Braves country today. We go live 3 to 5 weekdays right here on WQEE.
Here are some baseball facts that you might not have known. How did Mariano Rivera accidentally save the life of one of his teammates? In the 2001 World Series, the Yankees had a 1-run lead against the Diamondbacks in the bottom of the ninth. But in Mariano's second inning of relief, he gave up an RBI double to Tony Womack and a walk-off single to Luis Gonzalez. The planned victory parade in New York was canceled, which meant a change of plans for infielder Enrique Wilson. He was scheduled to leave for his home country of the Dominican Republic 8 days after the World Series, but because the Yankees lost, he moved up his flight a few days. His original plane was American Airlines Flight 587, which ended up crashing and causing the deaths of 265 people. The next year, Rivera talked to Wilson in spring training and told him, "I am glad we lost the World Series because it means that I still have a friend."
My mother always said that she loved to go to church, but not to hear the preacher. She could read her Bible at home, but she could only be in church. And baseball has some of that same sense of peace that has nothing to do with ideology, but simply with ritual, familiarity, small truths, sort of lessons of the day that we're familiar with before, but may get a little more light on them that day.
You're listening to Braves Country Baseball on Braves Country HD. Welcome back to Braves Country Baseball. The Atlanta Braves lead it by 1 after Eddie Rosario planted one into the bullpen in the bottom of the 8th inning. And A.J. Minter is going to come on to try to close this puppy out. Back and forth series really has been a really good series. It's Atlanta has won the first 2 games by 1. If Minter can hold on here, it'd be a 3-game sweep, all by 1 run. Lefty-righty matchup to start the inning, and the first pitch inside to Steer, who comes in pinch hit for Luke Mail. And it's 1-0.
Let's hope Minter could close the door here. Steer, first step out of the ball game.
The 1-0 from Minter. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Just dipped out of the zone. Cutter, almost working like a splitter action. It's 1-1.
Spear batting .316 on the season with 2 homers.
The 1-1 pitch from AJ. Heel kick and deal. Swung on and popped up. Playable in left field. Rosario camps underneath it, calls for the fair catch, catches it, had to turn his head for a second. That was closer than it should have been, and there's 1 away.
And the Bulls officially win. Sorry about that. I was silent for a minute, but we did it.
So 1 away, and Fairchild comes to the plate. Lefty-righty matchup. Fairchild. First pitch, right there at the knees for a strike, and it's 0-1. Fairchild came in for Benson earlier, walked his first time up. Minter fires the ball, and it swung on and popped up. Shallow pop to second base. Ozzie Albies underneath it, and there's 2 away. So we're 1 out away from a 3-game sweep before we head out to Kansas City.
And that was a can of corn there for Ozzie.
So that'll bring the top of the order to the plate. Jonathan India, lefty-righty matchup. AJ kicks and deals, and the first pitch is right there at the knees, called for a strike. 98 miles an hour, just above the kneecaps, and it's 0-1.
And Minter is bringing it. He looks like a man who's loving the ninth inning so far.
The 0-1 pitch in the dirt. Did he go around? Does not look like he did. Evens up the count at 1-1.
And Minter, you got to buckle down here. One more out, man. Let's get it. 2 strikes. Come on, Kevin.
India batting .317 on the year. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Good pitch by AJ Cutter, dipping inside off the plate, and it's 1-2. Cincinnati Reds are down to their last strike. Braves faithful on their feet. Here's the windup and the pitch. Off the plate wide, changeup. It's 2-2.
India, not an easy guy. Not an easy last out by any means. Tough battle here for Minter.
2-2 from Minter, trying for a clean inning here in the ninth. Here's the windup and the pitch. Out of the zone, it's 3-2. Cutter missing high.
You don't want to put his speed on base here if you don't have to.
So a full count to India. Braves lead by 1. Reds down to their final strike. Here's the windup and the pitch. Swung on and fouled off, out of play. 96 miles an hour, right up the top of the ladder. It's 3-2.
Not an easy battle for India nor Minter here. We'll see which one succeeds here in the top of the ninth. What a ball game this has been so far.
The 3-2 pitch. On the way, swung on and fouled again. Top of the zone, out of play. We'll do it again at 3-2.
India just does not want this thing to end, and he is battling. He needs a new bat even. He's gone so long, he needs a new bat.
Braves 5, Reds 4. Atlanta with 9 hits on the night. Cincinnati with 6. No errors by either side. Braves 1 strike away from a 3-game sweep. Here's the windup and the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Sit him down, baby. That'll end the game. So a home run from Eddie Rosario wins it for Atlanta. AJ Minter slams the door shut, and another 1-run victory against these Cincinnati Reds completes the sweep.
Blooper is hopping around in joy. What a game that was. Great perseverance by the Braves. They trailed a couple of times in this ball game. Could have easily packed their bags, tucked their tails, but this team never gives up, hence why they're recent World Series champions. And let me tell you, everybody in their lineup, outside of one guy who I won't name his name, I think everybody knows who that is, they had a phenomenal game, a gritty game at that. Losing Arcia isn't easy. The boys battled tough tonight.
Kirby Yates gets his first win of the year. Minter gets his second save of the year, as the Atlanta Braves will keep their lead at 2 over the New York Mets in the National League East. Loss will go to Farmer, and Atlanta back at it Friday night. We will have first pitch 8:10 Eastern. Great job, Tones, as you join us here on Braves Country Baseball. We look forward to you joining us again shortly down the road.
Yeah, I hope to be back soon, McGee. Always a great time jumping in with you guys in the booth. I loved every second of it. Can't wait to be back already. Love watching and announcing these Braves play. It's really a great time.
So for all the guys and gals behind Braves Country Baseball, y'all have a great night. Great job, Tones. We'll see you next time. And heck, we'll see you Friday on the Braves Country Today show. The Braves win it 5-4. We sweep the Cincinnati Reds and head to Kansas City.
Let's rock.
Goodbye, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. We're back tomorrow with another show. Well, unless we're fired, we'll talk to you then. Goodbye, sweetheart. Goodbye.
Guys and gals, it's time to go. We'll see you on the next show.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Thanks for listening to Braves Country Baseball. With Mac Magee, we're proud to bring you year number 3. Braves Country Baseball comes your way Tuesdays and Friday nights and 2 more bonus games for a total of 4 games a week. You can also catch Braves Country, our daily sports talk show. We go live 3 to 5, 99.1 FM WQEE, Metro Atlanta. Other CBS, ESPN, and independent affiliates nationwide, and simulcast on youtube.com/@BravesCountry. Find Braves Country HD today wherever you stream. Your first choice for Southern sports and the deepest bench in sports talk.
Something of the 5th of September. Something of the 5th of September. She said a lot that I can't remember. Something of the 5th. Can I get another cigarette, please? Can I get another cigarette, please? Yeah, I know I live to regret it. Just give me another cigarette, please. Can I get another cigarette, please?
You're listening to WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key in Noonan, Georgia, home of Braves Country with Mac Magee and the Armchair Quarterbacks, weekdays, 3 p.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern, right here on The Key and youtube.com/Braves Country.
It's the best in sports and entertainment, and get locked in and locked down with Rhino Radio Penitentiary, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. with your host, me, Ryan O'Neill, each and every morning, right here with the best in sports and entertainment, all the way from professional sports to college sports to River Dragons hockey and everything in between, including some of the very best local and national guests. It's the Rhino Radio Penitentiary, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Monday through Friday, right here on 99.1 FM WQEE.
Lineup for yesterday by Ogden Ash. A is for Alex, the great Alexander. More goose eggs he pitched than a popular gander. B is for Bresnahan, back of the plate. The Cubs were his love and McGraw his hate. C is for Cobb, who grew spikes, not corn, and made all the basemen wish they weren't born. D is for Dean, the grammatical diz. When they asked who's the tops, said correctly I is. E is for Evers, his jaw in advance, never afraid to tinker with chance. F is for Fordham, and Frankie and Fish. I wish he were back with the Giants, I wish. G is for Gehrig, the pride of the stadium, his record pure gold, his courage pure radium. H is for Hornsby. When pitching to Raj, the pitcher would pitch, then the pitcher would dodge. I is for me, not a hard-hitting man, but an outstanding all-time, incurable fan. J is for Johnson, the big train in his prime, was so fast he could throw 3 strikes at a time. K is for Keeler, as fresh as green paint, the fastest and mostest to hit where they ain't. L is for LaHoy, whom Clevelanders love, Napoleon himself with glue in his glove. M is for Matty, who carried a charm in the form of an extra brain in his arm. N is for Newsom, Bobo's favorite Ken. You ask how he's here, he talked himself in. O is for Ott, of the restless right foot. When he leaned on the pellet stay put. P is for Plank, the arm of the A's. When he tangled with Matty, games lasted for days. Q is for Don Quixote, Cornelius Mack. Neither Yankees nor years can halt his attack. R is for Ruth, to tell you the truth. There's no more to be said, just R is for Ruth. S is for Speaker, swift center field tender. When the ball saw him coming, it yelled, I surrender. T is for Terry, the giant from Memphis, whose 400 average you can't overemphasize. You would be Hubble if Carl wore a cockney, but we say Hubble in baseball like football in Rockney. V is for Vance, the Dodgers' very own Dazzy. None of his rivals could throw as fast as he. W, Wagner, the bow-legged beauty. Short, close to all traffic with Honus on duty. X is the first of two X's in Fox, who was right behind Ruth with his powerful socks. Y is for Young, the magnificent sigh. People battled against him, but I never knew why. Z is for Zenith, the summit of fame. These men are up there. These men are the game. Lineup for yesterday, Ogden Nash, January 1949, Sport Magazine. Hey Braves fans, I'm Mac Magee with Braves Country. We'll be right here on the key all year long giving you Braves Country baseball, pitch by pitch, inning by inning of your Atlanta Braves. Make sure to catch Braves Country right here on the key. We go live 3 to 5, and we'll keep you up to date on the upcoming schedule for Braves Country. That's Braves Country HD and Braves Country Baseball right here on the key. Casey at the Bat by Ernest Lawrence Thayer. The outlook wasn't brilliant for the Mudville Nine that day. The score stood 4-2, but with 1 inning more to play. And when Cooney died at first and Barrows did the same, a pall-like silence fell upon the patrons of the game. A straggling few got up to go in deep despair. The rest clung to the hope which springs eternal in the human breast. They thought, if only Casey could but get a whack at that, we'd put up even money now with Casey at the bat. But Flynn preceded Casey, as did Jimmy Blake, and the former was a hoodoo, while the latter was a cake. So upon that stricken multitude, grim, melancholy sat, for there seemed but little chance of Casey getting to the bat. But Flynn let drive a single, to the wonderment of all, and Blake, the much despised, tore the cover off the ball. And when the dust had lifted and men saw what had occurred, there was Jimmy safe at second and Flynn a hugging third. Then from 5,000 throats and more rose a lusty yell. It rumbled through the valley, it rattled in the dell. It pounded on the mountain and recoiled upon the flat, for Casey, mighty Casey, was advancing to the bat. There was ease in Casey's manner as he stepped into his place. There was pride in Casey's bearing, and a smile lit Casey's face. And when responding to the cheers, he lightly doffed his hat. No stranger in the crowd could doubt 'twas Casey at the bat. 10,000 eyes were on him as he rubbed his hands with dirt. 5,000 tongues applauded when he wiped them on his shirt. Then while the writhing pitcher ground the ball into his hip, defiance flashed in Casey's eye, a sneer curled Casey's lip. And now the leather-covered sphere came hurtling through the air, and Casey stood a-watching it in a haughty grandeur there. Closed by the sturdy batsman, the ball unheeded sped. That ain't my style, said Casey. Strike one, the umpire said. From the benches black with people, there went up a muffled roar, like the beating of a storm waves on a stern and distant shore. Kill him! Kill the umpire! Shouted someone on the stand, and it's likely they'd have killed him had not Casey raised his hand. With a smile of Christian charity, great Casey's visage shone. He stilled the rising tumult. He bade the game go on. He signaled to the pitcher, and once more the dun sphere flew. But Casey ignored it, and the umpire said, "Strike two!" "Fraud!" cried the maddened thousands, and echoed answered, "Fraud!" But one scornful look from Casey, and the audience was awed. They saw his face grow stern and cold. They saw his muscles strain. And they knew that Casey wouldn't let that ball go by again. The sneer is from Casey's lip. His teeth are clenched in hate. He pounds with cruel violence his bat upon the plate. And now the pitcher holds the ball. And now he lets it go. And now the air is shattered by the force of Casey's blow. Oh, somewhere in the favored land, the sun is shining bright. The band is playing somewhere, and somewhere hearts are light. And somewhere men are laughing, and somewhere children shout. But there is no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey has struck out. Casey at the Bat, Ernest Lawrence Thayer, published June 3rd, 1888. San Francisco Examiner.